Yo, 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 we are back. Once again, it's the Good Fellas Podcast. It's your boy Dougie. Got A Will, got Five with me. Got a new set. You know what I'm saying? Y'all right, man?
I gotta get a little.
Got a little nervous?
Nah,
You
man.
gotta get used to the new set, man.
Man.
You gotta find his spot for that, man.
Get it together.
Alright,
Get it
I'm
together.
this way.
No, man.
Don't say
I feel like my knees is right up on this thing.
Back up a little bit,
There you go, man. Ain't nobody stopping you.
Shit,
You gotta get you a little space.
Yeah,
There you
man. You
go.
alright? You alright over there, brother?
yeah, man.
Man, what a start to the show. Carmelo Anthony has just signed, you heard it, has just signed with the Portland Trailblazers.
You heard it here first.
All it took was for Lala to get killed off on power,
Wow,
and your boy Melo got a job.
you really said that.
Rest in peace to Keisha.
Okay. Wow.
How y'all feel about that, man?
You're reckless.
I know Five, you've been talking about it for a minute, that the Blazers have needed a wing playmaker, a wing scorer. Is it too late?
Yes. Absolutely, it's too late. He will be able to give them a punch, but I don't think it's going to take them over the top of where they need to get. Because they've looked god-awful over the first, 10 games. I think they're 4-6, I believe.
Some bad losses, too.
Terrible losses. They just lost to a De'Aaron Fox-less Sacramento Kings.
They did.
That was terrible.
And they got Buddy Hill.
I like Buddy Hill. I was going to say something real bad, but I was like, you know what? I refrained myself. I like Buddy Hill.
They got Harrison Barnes too.
That's the Tar Heel we ain't going to talk about right now.
They're 4-8.
They 4-8.
There's
Ooh.
only two teams below them right now.
I
That's
gave them
New
two.
Orleans and Golden State. Shout out all you Warrior fans. Ain't heard from you in a while.
You had to throw that in
Oh,
there.
every chance I get.
Come on, man. LeBron was just bitter yesterday. We can't.
Every-
we
I
can't.
don't, I don't know if he was bitter.
I wasn't bitter. That was facts.
That was
Them
He's
facts.
respected
Them
facts.
facts.
over. That was
They-
5 years ago.
they
But
asked him the
they
question.
asked him the question, and they
And
wanted him
that
to
was the
feel.
first thing that was on his mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Nobody
5
felt
years
sorry for him when he didn't have Kyrie and Kevin Love.
Nobody.
Nobody asked him about that.
No.
They asked him, did it feel weird?
No, he said no.
Playing a Warriors team with no, but then he did say no. But then he said no. But it didn't feel sorry for them when I played them and I didn't have love. for Kyrie.
He didn't say that. He just
No.
said, he said no. He said,
Look,
I didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving.
no love lost, no love found.
Let the business go. You in the Lakers jersey now. You ain't with the Cavs no more. All right. Let it go. All right.
Just saying.
Let's go out there. Let's kick their ass 3 more times, and then let's try to get to the finals. It's over.
How you feel about Melo?
Honestly,
Yeah. Truthfully, please.
I don't know what he's gonna look like. Like he hasn't played ball in a year now. Like, how does he fit in? Are they gonna need him to start? Is he gonna come off the bench? Like, what's gonna be his role? Like, to me, that's the biggest thing, especially like with all the injuries that they have, and then once they start getting pieces back, like, does he still have a role on the team? What is that role? Is he going to be able to accept that role? Is he going to excel at that role? Like, how they gonna monitor his minutes? Like, I just have too many questions right now to really say. I think it will give them another score, but they just gotta put him in the right spots.
Well, right now they're starting Anthony Tolliver and Nasir Little at the 4. So
I mean, but
there's touches and there's minutes for him, definitely.
oh, absolutely, it's touches and minutes. I would be like right now. I think Melo needs to come off the bench just to get his legs under him, just to get his feel back of the game, and then like maybe after 10 to 12 games, if he's what you want him to be, then you could go ahead and start. Or you might just need to leave him there, right? Because you don't want to. It's kind of like I was saying about Dwight. Like, do you want Dwight to start over JaVale McGee, being that Dwight is playing better than JaVale? But then I think that energy that Dwight brings off the bench kind of takes the Lakers to another level.
I 100% think Carmelo Anthony needs to start. They suck at the small forward position. They're terrible. He's got to start.
And they suck at the small forward and
Power
power
forward.
forward.
Hey, he's got to start. Like, don't, like,
Zach Collins is out too. which
yeah,
is-
like, let him get
I
in.
really don't think he's a starting power forward
Yeah,
either though.
let him get in. Let him shoot the ball. Because Terry Stotts' rotation, I hate it anyway. Like, he will play Dame the whole first quarter. He'll rest CJ about halfway through. Then he won't bring Dame back in until about 4 or 5 minutes left to go. no matter what the score is in the second quarter.
Less than that, like 3 minutes.
Yeah, they could be up 20, they could be down 20. He is going to stick to that. And they haven't been good enough for him to do that, and he still does it. So they need somebody else in the game. C.J. McCollum has been inconsistent. He's had spurts this year, but he's been inconsistent as their number 2 guy. So they need him to step up, but you got to just throw Carmelo in the fire right away.
Yeah, but I mean, if Dame is playing the whole first quarter, the whole first quarter, and you're putting CJ on the bench, swap CJ for Melo, boom. Now you don't necessarily, hopefully you don't lose that production. And then, not to say you play Melo as long as you would in the second quarter, but you can let him ride a little bit in the second quarter before you bring Dame. I don't know. Maybe it should help. I don't know.
They role players just suck.
He ain't good.
They just not good.
And they need Nurkic back.
Absolutely do need Nurkic.
I mean,
Even though
but
Whiteside's been serviceable.
Whiteside would make their bench that much better.
I agree.
You think if Nurkic come back, Whiteside has to go to the bench?
Yeah.
Why Nurkic can't play the 4?
Nah, it's
He
too
ain't
big.
four.
Yeah, they tried that in Denver. They
Him and
tried that with
Jokic.
him and Jokic together, and it wouldn't work.
He ended up in Portland.
Jokic is better.
Trey said the signing was 10 games too late. Portland knew they were going to be.
They had a whole training camp to get that man.
Yeah.
A whole training camp to get that man.
But see, I think that's the thing, right? Like Portland has so many injuries right now, and we forget they lost Harkless and Aminu.
Yep.
So
Steph Curry.
I'm just saying at the 4 or 5 position, they lost Harkless and Aminu.
They suck too.
They helped him though.
They did help them. They played defense.
They better than the guys they got now.
They suck too.
They played defense.
Aminu sucks. Harkless suck. I shouldn't say suck. They don't make them better. They didn't make them better.
Over the hump, nah.
No, like the biggest. All right, so it's gonna sound really dumb, but them getting to the Western Conference Finals probably was a bad thing for them, because then it said that we don't need that much help. We got there. We only need a little bit more to get over the hump,
And they was up double
which
digits
was
every
absolutely false, because they needed a lot. I mean, they got swept in the Western Conference Finals with a team without their best player. That should tell you that we need a lot to get over the hump. They probably saw the destruction of Golden State. They saw one less team out of the way. So they're like, oh, we can still be better than the Rockets. We beat the Nuggets. The Lakers are an unproven project. So they thought that they still would be an upper echelon team. And
They're not.
They just not. They weren't last year either. They were just fortunate enough.
They got hot.
They got hot at the right time, and they had the right matchups too. They didn't have to play the Warriors. They didn't have to play the Rockets. And they played the Nuggets, who don't have a clear-cut superstar, even though Jokic is dynamite. I don't know if he's a playoff superstar yet. And they played the Thunder with PG with 2 bad shoulders, and Westbrook couldn't throw it in the ocean.
Still can't.
Yeah, that's another story.
For another day.
Okay, so real quick before we talk about the 2 best teams in the league, are y'all impressed with Harden's averaging like damn near 40 right now?
No.
Into the last couple games, I would say no, but the last 2 games he's been fairly good. It all depends on if he's making the 3 ball, because he's gonna take them.
Yeah,
He's gonna shoot them, but is he gonna make them? So it's either if he makes them, he's gonna look really good. If he misses them, he's gonna look really bad. So.
Impressed?
No.
How many shot attempts is he taking a game? I would like to see that. 60.
Attempts, he's got to be in the
Shot attempts or 3
He's been taking like 13 threes.
Yeah.
Shot attempts.
So
per game.
he's definitely taking
He's
27.
at least taking-
About 27.
Maybe even 30. Who knows?
Yeah.
27, 30. Y'all think he's taking that many
Oh
shots?
yeah.
He's taking 13 threes.
He's getting to the line too though. But he's got to be taking over 25, at least 25. At least.
25.
Yeah.
24.5 actually. Actually the same amount that he took last year. Right now, and it's the early sample size. So
That shots all together.
shots all together.
Yeah.
He's taking 14 threes a game.
Oh wow.
That's way like somebody got to talk to him. Like the coach, like
You
you can get better shots than that.
You can get much better.
Shoot
shots.
41%.
Doesn't matter.
That's a bad.
That's settling. Like those aren't.
Those
wide.
will lose you playoff games.
Fine, we was just talking about this at Bar Louie. Like he settles for every
Oh, yeah.
3-pointer. That
Oh,
like
absolutely.
he has no like,
Open three.
and he never like I hate to say never, but like when you watch Harden, it's like he catches the ball and he's so slow in setting up his move that he doesn't like catch it and like immediately do something.
He got busy yesterday though.
Yeah,
I
he
will
was-
say
he
that.
cooked
I
them
watched
from
the
the
game.
jump. He cooked
I
them
watched the
from the
game,
jump.
man. He was getting busy.
He
It
cooked them
wasn't
from the
really
jump.
dancing, but you know why he wasn't doing that? Because the defenders are better. You can't do that.
No.
You can't play with the ball with Pat Bev in your face, Kawhi Leonard in your face all
they
game.
got PG,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. You just can't do that.
But Kawhi didn't guard him.
Kawhi only guarded him like for like a couple minutes in the second, and then he did not guard him in the third or fourth quarter.
They 8-3.
Yeah,
The Rockets?
they've been winning games. Yeah, they've been winning games.
Mm.
Their defense has got better too. They were talking about that a little bit earlier.
Well, two best teams in the league right now: Boston Celtics 9-1, Los Angeles Lakers 9-2. What a difference a year makes!
For both teams.
Oh my God, what a difference! Lakers they've looked good, and they've been taking advantage of. They've had a softer schedule this month. They've been taking advantage of it, but I have been most impressed with them on the defensive end during times. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like offense always not gonna be there. You're gonna miss shots, but the defense. Then we got guys buying into their roles. You know what I'm saying? KCP getting less minutes.
Still missing layups.
Hey man,
Still missing layups. He missed 2 of them yesterday.
see him with the pearl. Hey, as less minutes as possible.
He missed a layup yesterday and got hurt.
And JaVale's been playing better lately.
JaVale has been playing better.
JaVale's been
He
playing.
never was playing bad.
He wasn't playing bad, but I felt like
His
him and Dwight
impact-
weren't playing good at the same time.
Yeah, I just feel like people were prejudging him because of the way Dwight was playing.
Yeah, Dwight
Was playing so well.
He had a bigger impact. Really.
But JaVale been hooping these last few games.
They're actually ending games with Dwight, which is pretty impressive.
That's what they need.
And to me, that's all that matters. Like I know everybody wants to talk about should he start,
No.
should he come off the bench.
In the
As
game.
long as he's ending games, like you shouldn't care. I mean, I get it. NBA players care about it because they have egos, but if you're finishing games, like
That's all we need to
But
do.
will
really
he finish
cares?
games going forward? Like now that Kuzma's back, kind of getting his
I think it
legs
depends on the
it.
matchup.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the matchup. Like I really do. Like if you're going to play a team like how they were playing the Suns 2 nights ago, where they got Oubre or they got Saric at the 4, like you can play Kuz. You don't have to play 2 bigs. But if you're gonna play a team like, I don't know, say you're playing the Raptors and they finish the game with Gasol and then they got Siakam or they got Ibaka and they got Siakam, then you can play 2 bigs because Anthony Davis can guard forwards like Siakam. So, and you never know, we might just need Kuz just to play the 3, and then you just go big with Green or Bradley, and then you just put LeBron at the 1. I mean, it's just
You got options.
just a thought.
You got options. They got a lot of options. They can match up. They can match up with anybody.
Anybody?
Anybody, man. They can match up with anybody.
Alright.
Yeah, they're a very well-rounded team, and you saw what Rondo can do with the second unit a few games ago, with really getting it together and
In limited minutes too.
in limited minutes. And he's gonna do everything. He was all over the floor. So I mean, when he gets healthy, it's even gonna be better. Hopefully, more rest for LeBron.
Should the Lakers waive KCP?
They should, but they won't. Just because of who he signed to. They were talking about this.
I think
the
they
jump
should.
the other day.
Look, let's bring J.I. Smith in.
They're not gonna trade one
I mean, J.I.
one Rich Paul client for another.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
They're not gonna do that.
I stand by what I said about Jay. I don't want to see him and LeBron on the team again ever.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them bringing JR in if he wants to come.
Bring in anybody, bring in Iggy. Other than that,
But
They
you
will bring in
you
Iggy,
need
though,
a,
like
you
that.
need a lot you need the Grizzlies to just give up on.
They are, and they will. If they don't get any offers,
They're not
they don't want to eat the salary.
yeah.
They're not gonna get no offers.
So I mean, I'm just.
Nobody's gonna pay that type of money for Iggy.
No,
Iggy
right.
making too much money.
Too much. They might as well just buy him out.
Did you see on the All the Smoke podcast when they had Jay on there? They was asking him about that in the NBA Finals when he.
Didn't call the time.
Yeah, he was like, bro, man said he was laughing about it that night.
I can't.
What else can you
They
do?
about that, man.
You wanted to
He
punch,
said,
you wanted to punch
no,
balls?
wait. They was
Punch holes in the ball?
asking him, but he was like, man, what was it like in the huddle? He was like, oh man, when Bron was asking, we ain't had no timeouts. He was like, God, he's like, didn't nobody want to look up and say nothing. He said, didn't nobody want to say nothing. I'm like, man, I don't need that.
I'm still not over that.
It was catastrophic.
I mean, they still lost every other damn game.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, Brian Ham was
Look.
broke.
That was a pride game.
The tone was set.
Yeah, I mean,
After that free
and
throw.
Brian broke his hand. Like,
Come
everybody
on,
forgets that.
man.
He broke his hand.
Come on, man. I'm not trying to hit that, man. I'm not trying to hit
Yeah,
that. Nobody was saying he had broke his hand when he had 50, so
He had
He
to
had
his
to
first
first
game.
game.
that was the game.
He didn't break his hand until after the game.
Yeah, he punched it. He
He-
punched the
He punched
board
the
after
board
the
after
game.
the game.
Punched the wall after the game.
Yeah.
So what y'all trying to tell me?
He was
wouldn't-
angry.
He wouldn't have did that if George Hill would have made the free throw.
I always said that.
And
I
number
always
two-
say even if he goes back up, it's
and
not,
number
it's not,
two-
it's not even for sure thing that he was gonna make it.
If
He
Jr.
wasn't that close of a layup. It
I don't
would've been
think.
a
I
little
think if
floater.
you, but
it
I
would have
think
been a little floater.
like your emotion would have been different though.
if
Like,
he just went back up.
yeah, because
Just knowing
It would have
situation.
been like, oh, he should have made it, but you know.
oh well, I can live with it.
Where are you going?
He ran away from the basket and didn't call timeout.
Sorry. Shout out J.R. Smith, man. Shout out Hood Hop.
I'm not ready to hit that podcast.
He cool. He cool with me. He come over.
I
Hey,
accept
listen.
him over KCP.
Listen.
Yeah, but that's
listen.
that much.
If us longtime Lakers fans can get over Dwight Howard coming back and welcome him to the team, y'all can do the same for J.R.
I'm just not ready to hear what he got to say about it because
That was bad. Over East, we got Boston. They look pretty damn good.
they do.
Taylor has been hooping. Hayward has been hooping even though he just fractured his hand. He's going to be out about, what, they say 6 weeks?
So,
Yeah.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
So, I just want to tie this in. So, you said the Lakers have benefited from a soft schedule. Have the Celtics also done the same?
Who have they? It could be. I know they, let's see. Yeah.
Who they play?
This month they've played the Knicks, the Cavs, the Hornets. They played the Spurs on the road. They put up 135. The Spurs suck at home. They beat the Mavs. They beat the Wizards. They scored 140 points.
They have beaten the Raptors and the Bucks.
Philly too. Wait, Philly.
No, they lost it.
They started off the season versus Philly.
Versus Philly, they
They
lost
beat-
to Philly.
Wait, no,
They
they
lost
beat
to Philly.
Wait, no, they did.
They lost to Philly, and they beat the Raptors and beat the Bucks, but both those games were at home. Just to say it. So they haven't been. I mean, they did beat the Spurs on the road.
Have they had a soft schedule? Yeah, they've had a soft schedule.
I mean, they played the Knicks
Twice.
twice.
The Wizards.
They played the Wizards. They played the Cavs. They played the Hornets. They probably played the worst teams.
Right.
Probably the worst teams in the East, to be honest with you.
But that's what
Not
you,
saying
I mean,
they still haven't looked impressive, but I'm just saying.
That's what you need to. If I'm a team, I would rather play like some kind of easy games, quote unquote, just to get that rhythm, get that flow. You know, they got Kemba, who is a new piece. They really got a healthy Gordon Hayward this year because I don't think he was healthy last year. So you still got that. The loss of Al Horford, the loss of Aaron Baines. Like you have those two. So they were still trying to figure out what they were going to do. What was Tatum going to be? What was Jaylen Brown going to be? You know, I think they have benefited from it. Yes, I would like to see with both teams, even the Lakers. I would like to see both teams kind of play a stretch of games where, you know, maybe they're playing more quality opponents, like some of the playoff contenders,
I think
back to back. And then we'll be able to see like what they have. Because I think when you start to play those type of games where like, okay, like if I'm in the East and I'm playing Milwaukee one night and then 2 nights later or 2 nights later I'm playing Philadelphia and then 2 nights later I'm playing Miami and then 2 nights later I'm playing Indiana. Like that will tell you something about that team. Even if they lose, let's say they lose all 4 games, but all 4 games are close. That's still something that shows you a little bit about that team. And the same will go for the Lakers. So
Yeah, you say?
You gotta beat the teams that's on your schedule, man. Because you look at teams like, I mean, you got with the guys resting, you never know who you're gonna get. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be playing a good team, but Like it's like saying he could be playing Philly, but guess what? Embiid's resting. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to man.
I mean, you gotta look at, and then okay, I'm gonna sound like a real Boston Celtics hater, but I just want to point out some of the upcoming games they have. They're gonna play the Warriors. They're gonna play the Kings. They do have a couple. They do have a tough 3-game stretch. They're gonna play the Suns, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. They're gonna go back and play the Kings, play the Nets twice, play the Knicks.
They're getting the Knicks out their system.
Early.
Man.
Both New York teams,
Man.
Brooklyn and the Knicks. But I do think the Celtics are for real. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know they're for real. Like, they've shown it in the past that they can be for real. I was wrong about it. I want to say that.
The
too.
guys
I
that
was wrong about the Celtics.
I was wrong. I thought they would be bad. I didn't think they would be this good. I thought they would miss Kyrie's playmaking down the stretch of games. But to be honest with you, I don't really know who's been making the big shots for them. I know Kemba has made a couple. Tatum hit a game winner against the Knicks.
Brown been hooping.
I guess it's been, well, he also was out for 3 games too because he was had the flu. But he was hooping before that. Tatum's been playing. I mean, they got like 3 players that are averaging 20 points.
Smart's been doing his job.
And then I think Brown's averaging like 18. So they almost got 4 guys averaging 20.
I think they just having fun, man. They wasn't having no fun last year. They're just having fun.
I mean, who was that? Was that last episode or was that me and you, A-Will, we were talking about where they say Kyrie was having like these mood swings?
Yeah, that was me.
So, maybe that has something to do
But
with it.
didn't Kyrie say he was going through something last year?
Well, his grandfather had passed.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said he was dealing with that and couldn't really be there for the team like that.
Yeah.
As far as a leader, which is completely understandable.
No, I'm saying.
And when I look at the Nets, like, to me, the Nets can only be so good without KD. So, we'll always.
But I feel like we knew that.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't want people to, like, give Kyrie this whole, like.
I thought they would be a little better than they are, though.
I didn't think I didn't think that because they replaced D'Angelo for Kyrie. Like, they didn't add anybody else per se, right? Like, yes, KD is there.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
DeAndre Jordan is there.
Jordan.
But, like, they didn't add anybody else offensively that was going to be able to play. Like, they still had, like, if you look at how the Nets won games last year, it was like defense. They jumped out on teams early. They would get hot. You know what I'm saying?
They did a great job of staying in games last
Right.
year, and then they would hit a hot spell, take them over the top. They played hard. To me, that was one of the big things with them. I don't get that same energy as right now with them. They're playing hard. Like I always feel like even when the Nets were bad, like I think people don't understand that. Even when the Nets were bad, they would do a really good job of staying in games, just because they would play hard. I don't feel like they're playing hard, but I don't think that's an entire Kyrie thing either.
I just feel like the whole year is just going to look at the Nets and be like, they ain't got KD. Like, everything changes when you get him back. So, we're going to keep it moving. NFL. Cap is getting a shot.
Is he getting a shot or just an audition?
And,
It was just an audition.
progression.
No.
Is it?
No.
We giving Jay-Z some credit?
No.
I mean,
Because Cap has had teams. The Ravens looked at him, the Seahawks looked at him, and I want to say it was like another team. At least 3 teams looked at him.
did they work him out though,
Yeah.
or did they just contact them with interest?
Let me ask you this. If he gets picked up after this, that would say all of the difference in those other teams.
Not necessarily.
Because what would have been the difference now for him to get picked up than for him not to get picked up when those other teams were looking like he still can play in the league? Like, not even if you want to say, I mean, at worst case, second string, right? So he still can play. Like, there's some bums out there on right.
But I think, so here's the difference this year versus the other years, right? Ben Roethlisberger, hurt. Andy Dalton, hurt. Cam Newton, hurt. I'm trying to go down the list. Mr. Trubisky looks terrible. Patrick Mahomes has been hurt. Drew Brees got hurt. Phillip Rivers isn't looking good this year. Eli got benched. Like, so that's 8 teams right there that I just named where, like, you have to, if you look across the landscape of the NFL, like, some teams are on their second string quarterback right now. So it's like you still need somebody after that. And I get what you're saying, Kaepernick could be a second stringer, but if you look at this point last year, like, there weren't a lot of starters that were hurt. Starters just weren't playing well. So it's a difference when you're bringing in somebody with, what's been behind Kaepernick to just be a second stringer versus maybe bringing us somebody like Colin Kaepernick to truly challenge for the starting role, like for the starting quarterback position, and understanding that this is just a stopgap. Like, and that's the other thing I want to say. Like, if Kaepernick gets signed, this is a stopgap until a team gets to where they truly want to be, right? So, like, if the Dolphins sign him, that means they don't trust Josh Rosen, they don't care about Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? So they're just trying to get through this year, maybe keep Rosen healthy, but then have somebody there that knows the system or can learn the system in these last 8-9 games that they have to be able to take over to next year possibly if they draft a young quarterback. And that's the question that I always have. It's like, is Kaepernick okay with understanding that? Like, I might just be a holdover until a team finds who they truly want. And that may be just 1 year. It may be just the rest of this season. It may not be a long-term thing.
I think even when he was his last year in San Francisco, he wasn't starting. He was cool with that.
But see, I think it's a difference.
He started.
He didn't start the whole. He didn't start the whole year though.
He didn't start the whole
They were
year.
bad.
But I'm saying though, he was. It wasn't.
He didn't start the beginning of the year.
He didn't start, but it wasn't no rumblings about him like complaining like about him not starting though. Like
No,
he was.
never was.
So that's why I think whether he goes to a team to be first string or second string, I think he's just gonna be happy just to be back playing football. So.
But I also think it's a difference though. Like it's okay. It's kind of like the Cam Newton effect, right? Like if Cam was still healthy, this is how I'm gonna say it. If Cam was still healthy, and Kyle Allen was still playing well, would Cam have complained about not starting, knowing that the team was winning and the quarterback that was in was playing well? Probably not. Right? But that doesn't mean in the back of his mind he's not thinking, I could be doing the same thing if I was starting. Like, and he at that moment he's probably switching gears. Like, okay, it's time for me to move to my next team. And then you also got to factor this in. Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco, I believe is another one. Cam Newton, like those are all quality. Eli Manning, those are 4 quality starters that are potentially on the move this offseason. So now you got them 4, and you potentially add a Kaepernick. Like, it's slim pickings. I mean, I ain't gonna say slim pickings, but it's gonna be harder for Kaepernick if he doesn't get out there now.
Fly.
I mean, A. Will kind of said, pretty much everything. Like, how meaningful is it if he really does get picked up? Like, what meaningful role or meaningful minutes is he gonna play with this many games left in the season? It's a great opportunity for him because he does obviously want to get back into the game, and he feels like there hasn't been a way for him to showcase his skills. So I get it from the point of bringing people in to see him play, but it's just going to be a trend. That's my thing. It's just going to be a trend too. You'll have other players, who haven't, been able to get picked up, and they may want that same tryout. Can we do this? Can we have a tryout? Where teams can come see me instead of me going to see teams. And then I'm not saying it's a bad trend, but you just never know where it could lead. But anywhere it happens, if he does get picked up, people still won't be happy.
Yeah, because he's gonna do the same thing he did protest wise?
No, not that. No, not that. Nothing to do with protest. Just the fact that he does get picked up. Nobody's still gonna forget what has happened to him over the last 3 or 4 years, and they shouldn't forget. But they're still going to bring it up. They're still gonna talk. They're gonna talk about it, and like Eric Reed, like they asked Eric Reed about it. You know, like when Kaepernick, gets picked up, he was like, well, if you stab me with a 9-inch knife and then you pull it out 6 inches, did you still stab me?
Absolutely.
So stuff like that, and which he's right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 1,000% right. But comments like those will still happen, even if he does get picked.
And the biggest, and Eric Reed also said he believes it's a PR stunt, and I agree 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he has to have a tryout, an open tryout for all 32 teams. Only 11 teams are going.
Well, committed so far.
13.
13?
Yeah.
So far, they said it's only 30.
ESPN just confirmed it a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But anywho, right? Why couldn't they do this in the off season? Why did this have to be done now? Like that's the kind of sketchy part about it for me. Because then it's like, okay, we gave him a tryout. And then the way they put it out was like, he's going to try out. They're going to send the film of it to the teams that didn't attend. And it's like, I feel like they're pushing it too much for him to be signed, right? I think the NFL is kind of like, okay, we need him back in the league a little bit. Like somebody. Like if we put him out here in front of everybody, somebody got to like him. But then if nobody likes him, then they could just turn back and be like, well, we gave him a shot. Nobody liked him. He didn't look good.
It's 1,000% of a PR stunt. 100%.
And it's like
it's all. This is probably pretty much all the entire Jay-Z type deal type thing. Like, who's ever in charge of that department for the NFL? Obviously, it's not entirely Jay-Z. He's got a million different businesses going on, but whoever the people are that are in charge of that did absolutely pushed it, and absolutely idea was to put it together. Because let's be honest with you, we've seen athletes get blackballed before, and we never hear anything about it. Like the NBA's done it, like NFL's done it, and we never say, oh man, that person never got a shot again. We'd be like, they was just blackballed out the league. Like you never heard anybody. So this is something new that they're trying to see if it works. But to be honest with you, it's too late. Like it's too late. He's been out of the league 3 years.
He's 32 years old.
He was already like. And I hate to say this because I understand people don't want to be for real with him, but he was already starting to kind of dwindle talent-wise. Like, he started 11 games this last year. He's 1-10 as a starter. I don't think people understand that. Started 8 games the year before that, 2-6 as a starter. So, like, his talents were already starting to dwindle a little bit. So, I mean, who knows where they are now? I mean, we're 3 years out. He hasn't played football 3 years. I mean, where can your talents go? Can they go up from there?
I will say this. He should be on the roster. Should have been on the roster. I'm all for them pushing for him to get on the roster, even if it's too. We break down all of these quarterbacks, like even some of these starting quarterbacks, I do believe even with Kaepernick being out 3 years, he's better than some of these guys that are starting on teams.
So I'm going to ask you the same question I pose every time people say that Colin Kaepernick could still be a starter in this league. Colin Kaepernick is 32 years old. Do you take, to Five's point, do you take a player that has slowly started to decline and the NFL started to figure him out over a young quarterback that you can groom and develop? Like, that's the question you have to ask yourself as a GM. Like, and that's the question they're still going to have to ask themselves now. Like, even if you look at the Bears, like I seen somebody posted earlier about the Bears, like they were happy the Bears weren't bringing them in. It's like, Mr. Trubisky is 25. Colin Kaepernick is 32. Is a 32-year-old Colin Kaepernick better than a 25-year-old Mr. Trubisky? Yes. But which one has more longevity in the league? Mitchell Trubisky.
And more potential.
And that's, so you have to start, when you start looking around the teams with the young quarterbacks, that's what you're going to ask. Like, is Colin Kaepernick potentially better than Kyle Allen? Yes, but Kyle Allen is younger, and he has the potential, and he has the ability to groom and grow. Like, so my question always back to people is like, what teams that don't have a young quarterback could Colin go start for? And when you start to look at that, it ain't many. It really ain't many. He can go be a backup, but a starter, nah.
The Dolphins?
Again, they just got Josh Rosen, and he's a young
I
quarterback.
think they've kind of lost.
I mean,
Their confidence in Rosen being
I get where you're coming from. These guys are young, and these guys, and by no means am I saying that any team that's going to sign Cap, this is like a franchise move, like he's our quarterback for the next 4 or 5 years. But some of these teams aren't looking long term. Some of these teams want to put something on a good product out on the field now for maybe the next 2-3 years, 1-2 years to try and give themselves a shot at the playoffs.
But what team is that? Give me a team.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, you can see. Let's look at the teams that he's. Let's see. You've got, like I said, Miami.
Miami ain't trying to win now.
But I'm saying just because.
But let's just be real. So let's just go down the list. Miami ain't trying to win now. Denver had Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco got hurt. Could they sign Colin right now? Yes, but guess what? Denver also drafted Drew Lock, who they thought would be their starter, but Drew Lock started the year on the IR. So Denver is a question mark.
But I mean, we can't say like all of these GMs are super committed to they're not loyal to anybody. So you can't say. I mean, we get it. They got these younger players.
They're not loyal to somebody, but they're loyal to the future.
And I'm not signing somebody like if I draft think about when Drew Lock was drafted, I believe in the second round. If I draft a quarterback in the second round, I already have it. I traded for a quarterback, and I still drafted a quarterback. That means that I feel like my quarterback room is set. I'm not looking at Colin. Like, yes, Joe is hurt right now, and so Joe would be good. I mean, Colin would be good as a stopgap. But Colin, again, would have to accept the fact, and everybody else that is looking at Denver as an option would have to accept the fact that Colin is probably just there to the end of the season because they're really trying to find what they have in Drew Lock.
I will say this, though. Every good team does need a quality backup.
Yeah,
they do.
I think the Saints just proved that. And when Breeze gets a all of a sudden injury, you got Bridgewater. He wins you games while he's out. Breeze comes back in. You go from there. So I do think some of the contender teams could use a quarterback like Kaepernick because he is seasoned. He can be a 2 or 3 or 4 gamer to kind of game manage you in, kind of get you some W's in between any type of injuries. But is that a role that is he willing to play? I mean, I think it would be, but I mean, and then also, let's go back to the teams. Let's go back to the GMs. Let's go back to the owners. Like, are they willing to put up with what's going to come with it in order for him to maybe play 2 games, maybe play 3 games, maybe play 4 games? It's gonna come with some backlash.
Oh yeah.
It's going to come with some backlash.
It's going to come with a lot of media attention.
Yes, it's going to come with a lot of media attention. It's going to come with a lot of backlash. You might lose some of your fan base. Like, this is what GMs and owners are thinking about. You know they're only thinking about the dollar bills. They're thinking about the attention. They're thinking about the future of their franchise. They're thinking about ticket holders. You know, they're thinking about all this stuff. They're not thinking about just one player and can he win me a game if I need him to win me a game. So, I mean, I wish the best for him. I mean, he definitely deserves it. But I just wish people would just stop with the assumption that Kaepernick is like this, like, still great quarterback when he was already kind of diminishing before this even took place.
I just want people to stop saying he's still a starter in this
I just asked
I
somebody
think
that earlier.
for the right team, he could start.
What team? You gave me. I need a team.
I mean, I'm not saying he can start for every team in the league, but
so
I mean,
just
some of these
look at
teams
the-
are bad, bro.
Okay, give me another team that's bad.
So
The Washington Redskins. I know that they going with their boy, but I'm saying like he could. Yeah, they're going with him, but that don't mean Cap wouldn't be able to start for them.
That's their future, though.
But no,
okay.
I
So
get that.
I'll say this. Right now, you starting the season off fresh.
Yeah,
Would you want him to be your team starting quarterback?
starting off fresh.
Yes. 0-0. First game of the season.
First game of the season. Depends on the team.
Your team. I'm talking about your team. I'm talking about
Like,
the
if I had
Chicago
to-
Bears.
Yes. Yes.
Not knowing and seeing what you know now.
Yes.
No, I think you missing the point. I think you missing the question that 5 is
But
asking.
I mean, I look at all these other, not even the Bears, but like other quarterbacks.
But
say
that's
like-
not what
say-
5 is asking. What 5 is asking, if you were a team and the season started today, like this was the start of the season, and everybody is on or across the board, are you looking at your roster and you go to the quarterback and you say, Colin Kaepernick is better than, and which quarterback are you just like, okay, yep, he can go to that.
After,
Yes,
after
yes.
the season Mitch had last year,
No. I'm not even gonna go Mitch. Andy Dalton was still starting. Yes, I think.
No.
You asked me. Andy Dalton's not good.
I mean, I don't think he's good, but
He ain't good.
I do think he is.
He's better than Colin.
He ain't good.
I think he's better than Colin Kaepernick, though.
I mean, but you asking me though. My
I'm
opinion.
asking you, what do you want him to start for your team?
If I had
Chicago
a team, I mean, he wouldn't be my first choice of a quarterback to go
So
get.
then-
That's
so
all-
then-
But
that's all I'm
no,
asking.
but
That's all I'm asking.
what I'm saying
I'm
is,
not saying you can pick any quarterback. I'm saying
You only got Colin.
You
It's
got-
between Colin and
you
Mitch.
got Colin and Mitch, and
Which
after,
one you taking?
And after seeing what Mitch did last year, you can say, man, I can put Colin here. He's gonna take us. Boom. Mitch took us here, took us 12 wins. Colin's gonna take us to 13, 14 wins.
yeah, I would say Colin Kaepernick.
You a liar.
I would say
You a liar. You a
I would say
liar.
Colin Kaepernick.
You a liar.
That ain't to say that he would be like, but I would take Colin Kaepernick. I would take Kaepernick.
There's no reason why y'all in last place right now.
Yeah.
This is why y'all in last place right now.
So how you gonna ask me if I would take? Yeah, I would take him over Mitch. That's not saying like
We're not saying seeing what you see now. We're not asking after what.
I've always
10 weeks,
I-
9
even,
weeks.
y'all
even when
dumpster now.
we
so
ain't asking that.
You would take anybody.
I've always thought
they
even
take
when,
Eli Manning.
even when Colin Kaepernick was getting blackballed, I thought he could still have been a starter
I mean,
over certain
not-
over
that's
certain
not
quarterbacks.
what- That's
what
not
I'm
what we're
asking.
talking about.
When they first happened, of course he could have been a starter. He was
We
just a
we
starter.
talking 3
I'm
years
talking about
later,
3 years later.
and we talking about the Bears
Your
coming
team-
off a 12-4 season, losing in the
First.
first
First
the,
round.
not
No,
even
the
the wild
divisional
round,
round.
the divisional
Divisional
round.
round.
They lost in the divisional round, and you coming back the next year, and you bring everybody back.
and you say, ooh,
Then everybody came back for the Bears, and you saying, "Oh, we looking at our roster, the final cut. You know what? We need to cut Buddy
I'll
over
tell you
here.
that.
ooh, we got Colin
I'll
right
tell- I'll tell
here.
you
Ooh, we
this.
gonna
I'll tell you
bring
this.
Colin in.
I'll
man.
tell you this. I'm keep it real. I'll tell you this. He would have been my second string quarterback. He would have been my second string.
That's
quarterback.
fine. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But that's not
He
that
not
question I
asked.
asked you.
He asked start
He
over
wanna be-
bench. Stop
I mean,
changing the question.
Obviously,
Question-
after the, I'm going by what Mitch is doing now.
we can't. That's what he
But-
said. Don't look at
But
that.
even if we were not even with the Bears, like if you looked at me and it was Andy Dalton and you said Colin Kaepernick, I'm gonna go with Colin Kaepernick.
To lead the Cincinnati
Eli-
We
Bengals.
need to have you drill.
Eli Manning,
To lead the Cincinnati Bengals.
Eli Manning,
To lead the Cincinnati Bengals after 3 years.
Josh Allen.
There's nothing wrong with Josh
Yeah,
Allen.
nothing wrong with Josh Allen.
Kaepernick can do the same exact thing.
No, the fuck you can't.
He's not.
Josh Allen got a cannon, brother.
And he's a bigger quarterback. Like he's a
Josh
physical
Allen like what,
quarterback.
6'4", 6'5", and got a cannon.
Colin is a speedster.
What do you?
And you don't know what
They
his
can't
speed is
even
like.
score.
And you don't know what his speed is like.
Name a receiver in Buffalo. One, just one.
Beasley, they got Brown. They got better offensively.
That's it. That's all they got.
No, they got better. Who they got Singletary this year. They got Frank Gore this year. Who did they have last year?
Singletary been hurt.
Singletary, he was just killing.
That-
last
that
few
was-
games.
But he was hurt in the beginning.
They still got Gore though.
Yeah, they
Who did they have last year?
serviceable.
Who did they have last
You
year?
said Cole Beasley.
Well, they had McCoy
Cole
at first, but he was.
Who did they have as their receivers last year? You said Corey Benjamin. That's what you told me.
No, I said Kelvin.
Kelvin, Corey,
Yeah,
Benjamin.
yeah.
That was trash, bro. Their offense was trash.
I
And
mean,
they
that
still
makes
almost made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And you're blaming the quarterback in his second year?
No, what I'm saying is,
A
if
good
I had
quarterback at that.
if I had to choose, I would take Kaepernick.
That never apply to be a GM. Never.
Ever.
His numbers just ain't outstanding. Go look at his numbers.
And never apply to be a GM.
Never. Ever.
Just don't.
What have the Bills been doing the last few weeks?
That ain't your forte.
What have they been doing? They've been losing.
And you think it's Josh Allen?
No, but what I'm saying is they haven't been able to score
And you
points
think
on
Colin,
offense.
And you think Colin can help them score points?
I'm saying he can't do no worse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never. Hey, when you
Go look at Josh Allen's stats, bro. The last few games, like
if it's a GM job that pops up in your inbox ever, you
Bro,
just
like,
automatically don't click on it.
y'all talking
just
like he's
delete
been
it.
all world or something like that. Like he's been
Hey,
just
I mean, they're 6-3.
Hey,
They were just 5-1.
Look. If a GM job popped up,
Look at the
I
numbers.
mean, they lost to the Browns. I mean, they
Swipe
lost to the
left.
Browns. They lost to the Eagles.
Swipe left. Okay,
They
that's
ass
where I
kicked.
was-
But look at their offense, though. This is what I'm talking about. Their
I
offense.
mean, they never been an offensive juggernaut team. Like, and you
I
think,
just
you think
said-
Colin Kaepernick gonna make them
I
one?
said he
No,
couldn't
he-
do no
he's
worse.
not gonna do any worse.
Any worse than Josh Allen.
Just swipe left, never.
But y'all was talking about, like, look at Josh Allen numbers, though.
Don't put me down as a reference.
Please don't.
Josh Allen can scramble. He's good on the move. Kaepernick can scramble.
Josh Allen can throw that.
Look at his numbers. You're telling me he can throw this and throw that.
Bro, he's throwing a Cole Beasley. You just named me Cole Beasley and John Brown. Name me a year Cole Beasley has caught for 1,000 yards.
Never.
Never.
What about John Brown?
Never.
They just got him supposed to be that guy.
Oh, okay. That's all I need to know.
So now we putting it on the receivers. Well, we go quarterback, man. He ain't gonna always have one.
He ain't gonna always have what?
You
I mean,
gotta work with what you want. You gotta work with what you got.
You gotta get some sort of
You gotta
separation.
work with what you got.
You got to get some sort of
You
separation.
gotta work with what you got.
You got Cole Beasley getting 1 catch, 13 yards for a touchdown. That's it.
You gotta
Man,
work with what you got.
Probably get 2 targets a game. You sitting over here saying Cole Beasley.
Hey man,
Wow.
I would have took him over Mariota.
You took who over Mariota?
Colin Kaepernick.
Well, you might be on to something
okay.
right there. You might because
Okay.
Marcus Mariota is terrible.
Oh, okay. He can't start on Tennessee.
He could.
Oh, okay. We found a team.
Look, got Tannehill starting now.
Yeah, he could. He could. Mariota is pretty boo.
That's some pretty bad quarterbacks over there.
Pretty boo.
Tannehill
See,
is bad.
you finally gave us a good team.
That was a good one.
You've been reaching for the stars.
They still would be bad with him though.
But it's still winning.
They still would be bad.
It will look a lot better.
They still would be bad.
It will look a lot better.
What is going to sell about 3 more tickets?
They ain't, definitely ain't gonna sell more tickets.
Man.
Not with them Tennessee folks.
Woo!
You heard John from Tennessee? you know what he about. John from Tennessee.
Get this show their way.
Browns is up 14-0.
Yeah. Hunt making the difference.
What is he doing?
He had a catch.
Is that a catch? Let me see.
He had 8 catch.
He had one when I was watching.
He had a
Before
catch.
I left the house.
Hunt, he got 3 catches, 34 yards. Mayfield's going decent. Mayfield just
How many targets Odell got? That's what I need to know.
Oh, hell. 5,
How many catches he got?
3.
3 for 5 today. Ain't bad. Maybe he'll stop crying.
He need a couple more.
Mayfield just has to not turn the ball over.
When they win and he don't get the targets, he still won't cry.
You said
Yes.
he won't?
Yeah, it's only when they lose and he don't get the targets he cries.
Man, that one game, though. Who were they playing? He was open.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I can't get the ball. I can't get the
I
ball for
forgot.
nothing.
Was that
I
Green
can't
Bay?
I can't get a ball for nothing.
Dude,
That's
he
what
Was that Green Bay?
was it? He was.
They was getting trashed by somebody.
That-
Whoever
but-
it was, they was getting trashed.
I don't know. I think the
Nah,
game was
they was
close.
close.
It was close.
Close game.
Close game.
That was it though. It was the Broncos or the Bills.
No, they
They
lost the
won.
game.
They won the Bills game.
They lost that Broncos game. I think it was that Broncos game.
But yeah, it was the Broncos. It
And
was
he
the Broncos.
was wide open.
He wasn't wide open. He
I mean,
open.
he-
wasn't
you-
wide open.
Open enough for Odell? Yeah, he was open.
I mean, he wasn't.
I
He
mean-
wasn't wide open. He was open. Baker could have led him.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, a good quarterback, you know what I'm saying, make a good throw. That yeah, but he just
Colin wouldn't have made it.
huh? Shit, Baker damn ain't making all his throws.
He's not.
Hey, I hope he go to the Patriots.
Who?
Kaepernick.
For what? To sit on a bench?
Yeah.
Just get a ring.
He ain't never touched it.
Yeah.
But we know Belichick is not going for the media circus.
He's definitely not going
Yeah,
for it.
that's not happening.
What?
I guarantee you the Patriots aren't one of those 13 teams going to
They are.
going down to Atlanta.
They are.
They gonna go look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gonna go look at him. They gonna do their homework.
Yeah, and then some of these teams on here, like, I'm like,
They gonna do their homework.
Okay, interesting question. Can the Browns run the table? They literally have one tough game left.
Who they play?
The Ravens, the second last week of the season.
You know what I'm saying?
Their schedule is the Dolphins, the Steelers again, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Ravens, and the Bengals.
They can, but they won't.
It's the Browns, right? The Browns gonna Browns, right?
it's,
Lose.
man,
No, they might run the table.
They good.
Somebody actually said this on ESPN
That they could?
last week. They was like, the Browns will not lose another game.
They might run
They
the
said
table.
it last week.
What's their record right now?
They are 3-6.
So if they run the table, that will put them at 10-6.
That is correct. If they win today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 10-6.
Yeah.
They got the talent to do it. To me, it comes down to Mayfield, man.
Is Hunt really the difference though? Like, is them getting Hunt back the difference? I mean, a lot of people said this. Like, they said if they could hold water until Hunt gets back, like, they can do magic.
Kareem Hunt is that
He's that dude.
dynamic.
He's that
Last
dude.
few games, how many turnovers Mayfield got?
I'm sure he got some. It's Baker Mayfield. He didn't have no turnovers last game.
That's what, man. If he don't, like,
Broncos game, he didn't have any turnovers this game either. They still low.
he needed another touchdown if he didn't throw the damn ball to Odell. But if he can keep his turnovers down, man, that gives him. And then they got Hunt back. Yeah, they got a shot.
Yeah, man, I had a turnover in the last 2 weeks.
You keep that up, they got a shot.
Had a turnover today?
He did?
I'm trying to check.
I don't think so. I know he got a touchdown.
Nope, no turnovers
Yeah.
today.
Take care of the ball. Just take care of the ball.
I mean, was it him or was it the teams they were playing? I mean, shit, look at the defense he
They-
played. They
they-
played the Patriots, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Ravens,
They O-line is bad.
the Rams, the Jets, the Titans. They've played nothing but great defenses all year.
They
even though some of
O-line
those,
is bad.
even though some of those teams are bad, their defenses are still pretty steady and pretty good.
Call them to the Bears.
Yeah. So you can run and slip around all Soldier Field all winter.
A little better than Mitch.
Y'all might as well tank. Y'all might as well.
Can you draft a coach?
Y'all don't got no. Y'all, you know what? Y'all ain't got no first round pick.
You don't.
Why? Because we traded up to get who?
I don't think y'all traded any first round picks in that trade. It might be. It
No.
might be y'all don't have none because of
That
the
was the
Khalil
Mac,
trade.
because the Mac, yeah.
That was worth
The
it.
Raiders got y'all.
That was
Raiders,
worth it.
Raiders got y'all picks.
Somebody put up a post the other day that said Khalil had one good year in Chicago.
He has not been that good this year. Not as advertised.
But come on, we're not gonna beat up your Bears. We can do it or not.
Not as advertised.
I mean, the top two defensive players that we said, the two best players in the league,
Yeah.
none of them has been as advertised.
I think Aaron Donald been doing this thing.
Mm.
His numbers is not. His
Don't give me
numbers
that.
Aren't gonna be there.
No, don't give me that then. No, give me that.
Has Khalil had the same impact he had last year?
Don't give me that.
No, I mean, yeah.
Has Khalil had the same impact he's had last year? Has Aaron Donald had the same impact he had last year?
No.
Shit.
The man didn't have a sack for he had one sack through 4 weeks.
You know how many sacks he had? How many games he didn't have a sack last week before he erupted?
When is it gonna happen?
I'm just saying. Do you know how many times he's done that in years? And then
And the Bears defense is still
hey.
top 10?
All I'm not asking about them in
Probably top
totality.
10.
Hey,
I'm
Probably
asking
around
about one man versus another one man.
Probably because he don't have as many turnovers. But yeah, Mac is having a better year than Donald.
Okay. You better watch the Rams game.
Bro, their defense ain't been impressive.
I'm asking one man versus another man. I ain't asking about the totality of the defense. One man versus
He's
another.
got 5 sacks this year.
Who?
Khalil Mack.
What Donald got?
He's got 6.
Sorry, that
What did he get, 5 last week?
Nope.
Nah, he's had 1 every week for the last 3, and then he had 2 4 weeks ago.
It's okay, buddy. Buck
He
on.
did start the season really slow though. 1, 2, 3, 4. First 5 game season, he had 1 sack. He started to heat up a little bit, but their defense still sucked though.
Sorry, brother.
the Rams,
Still
the
take
Rams,
Mac.
the Rams can't stop a nosebleed. So
We know you're gonna take man.
Take Mac.
Just saying.
Donald's only got 1 forced fumble.
2.
Oh, you're right. He's got a fumble. He got one fumble recovery. He's got 2 forced fumbles. Max got 4 forced fumbles. He's got 1 recovery.
Our offense has been so bad, it's taken away from anything that.
Yeah, the defense is on the field for too long.
Like-
defense is just on the field too long. I mean, that's what any I feel like that's what a lot of great defensive teams. Like I feel like the only team that's not like that is the Patriots. Like where the offense is still pretty steady, and then the defense is also good. A lot of teams where the defense is really good, and then the offense just sucks.
Yeah, like, it's just.
They gotta stop that though. The Bears are gonna have to just change their whole entire identity, and they're gonna have to add some offense, man. You gotta score points. I can't keep telling you this. You can't keep relying on your defense every single year and be like, we're a defensive team, we're a defensive city, and still expect
I mean, no,
expect
they got
different results.
They got Nagy in here, who's supposed to be this genius.
He is a genius. He was a genius last year. He just had some bonehead plays on short yardages. This year, he's just not.
Shit in the bed.
Yeah,
Shit in the
he's been bad.
Shit in the bed.
I won't let him off the hook. Too. He's been bad.
Shit team good.
But the players are bad too, though. Players bad. Coordinator bad.
The most
Bad.
important position is bad. Quarterback is bad.
Everybody bad. Except
It's
Allen
all
Robinson.
bad. The weather is bad.
Allen Robinson, the only offensive player on the Bears that I want on my team. I think a lot of people will say that.
Mm.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I like Montgomery.
I like Cohen too, but I like him.
They not using him like they used him
Oh no!
last year.
God no! I haven't seen a wheel route I haven't seen a wheel route all year for the Bears.
Don't know what's going on.
Why they ever run no wheel routes
I
for my
can't
man?
tell you. I
You
don't
he's
have
catching the wheel routes. He's go 30
I
yards.
don't have these answers. You ain't got the answers, Ray. I don't got these answers.
Man, I ain't heard for the gang in so long.
And I was so like they was.
Club Dub out here like the factory.
Dude, did you see him? Did you see him after the game, last game?
Club Dub is out here like the
Dude, I didn't
factory.
want to see them celebrate. That was not a win to celebrate.
You remember when the factory closed down that first time and then they tried to reopen? That's Club Dub. It only open sometimes. Only open sometimes, yo. Not every Saturday.
You
Don't
think
come here.
you asked me if I watched the Bears game last week? Silly Ray.
Man, can you play for the game, man? I ain't heard it. But they don't stop it well? Nah, you don't play it, man. They
No,
take a copyright.
I'm not. It's a 3-man MVP race. That's why I'm going with it. That's exactly why I'm going.
We'll never stop it. Red lights. Woo.
Oh my God!
I
Every
might play
week
that. I might play that on the
we
round.
end up on the Bears, just like Antonio Brown.
All right, man. Go ahead. Go to your MVP race. It ain't gonna be somebody on the Bears. So. We can skip. We can go to that.
Christian McCaffrey, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson. Dude, all having outstanding years. Who would be number one right now to y'all at this point in the season?
I'll let him know, man.
I
I
feel-
know. Yeah, I know who he's gonna take.
Russell Wilson, man.
And why?
Honestly, I said this before and I'm going to continue to say it. It is a quarterback award. The MVP is a quarterback award. It's for a quarterback to win. Christian McCaffrey will win Offensive Player of the Year. Russell Wilson will win MVP. And I think like Russell has just his game-winning drives this year, like the comeback games, like that. Like he's had a lot of those games that are gonna stick in voters' minds. Like Lamar Jackson, yeah, they beat the Patriots. They lost to the Chiefs early. Like he's had rush for 100, throw for 100,
Yeah, he did
a
that.
rush for 150.
2 weeks ago, I believe. He did
Yeah,
that.
but it was like rush for 150, throw for 200 or something like that. He had one of them games, like that's good. And that will help. Like that'll make it, good for conversation, but I just don't know if he will have enough signature wins.
He's had one already.
No, but
Beat the Patriots.
think about like Westbrook. Wilson just won Monday night. That was a signature win. That was probably one of the best games of the year this year, right?
Has he had another one?
He did. When they came back, they had a comeback.
Against the Cardinals? Against the Bucks.
mean, those are comeback wins. They're gonna remember that. Even if you look
bad
at
teams though.
even if you look at the Saints, like they lose to the Saints, but they were coming back, all because of Russell Wilson. And they'll say the Saints.
Oh, well, that was like
I can't give you that one, bro.
no.
That was garbage. That was like
that was
garbage
like
time.
garbage stuff, man.
Yeah,
That
I
was
can't.
like
Look at how this. Look at how the
game was
Saints
not a-
scored.
that
Look
game
at how
was
the
never-
Saints-
they were
look
never in
at
touch
how
with the
the
game.
Saints scored their points. There was an offensive touchdown.
They really trashed him. The Saints really trashed him.
Yeah,
But
that
he brought
was.
them back, and they
that
lost
was-
by. He brought them back, and they lost by what? 8. He
Yeah,
brought them
because
back.
they scored a touchdown with like 4 seconds ago in the game.
And they lost to Baltimore.
I'm just telling y'all what's gonna stick out in voters' minds.
So the
And Lamar beat
head-to-head,
him.
the head-to-head matchup don't matter.
No. Did the head-to-head matchup matter? Does the head-to-head matchup matter when you have more signature wins? Like what?
I just don't think he has more signature wins.
Okay.
They've both beaten
Undefeated teams.
They both defeated, and he beat him head to head.
Okay. I'm just telling y'all. I'm telling y'all.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just challenging.
This is
I'm
this
just
is
challenging your
Russell's
theory
this is
right now.
Russell's award to lose.
Right now.
Period. McCaffrey is probably the closest, but again, it's an MVP award. Like McCaffrey will have to probably go.
Is he on pace to break the all-time yards from scrimmage record?
He would have to do that.
Gotta be close.
He would have to do that, and he would probably have to have like 1,000 yards,
Rushing and receiving.
1,000 yards receiving and like 1,200 rushing. He can't just have 1,000. Like he can't do that. He has to do something where like it's 1,000, 1,200.
They also gotta make the playoffs too.
I don't think they have to make the playoffs.
You know, no. Then
If he
when's the
rushes,
last time a non-playoff team had an MVP
that's
award?
tough.
I mean, I don't
But
know
if he rushes, this is what I'm saying. If Christian McCaffrey catches let's say he catches 100 passes, he has 1,000 yards, and he rushes for 12 or 1,300 yards, and he has like double-digit touchdowns. He's gonna be up there. Like, and they don't necessarily need to make because that's not something that happens all the time. Like that, he will have to do something like that.
I think he'll get votes, but I don't think he'll be close to the other two.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm with you on he'll get that offense.
Gotta make the playoffs, man.
But
You just
I will say this, though, man.
You can't be out here losing games.
It's close, man. It's close with Russell and Lamar because, man, that game they played head-to-head, Lamar brought them back and won the game for them. Like,
He had 2 signature wins in a row.
he won the game for them.
Against the
And
Seahawks
Ingram was
and
in
against
it.
the Patriots in back-to-back weeks.
Ingram was in the interview saying, man, he brought us back. Like,
We won because of him.
we won because of him. And total touchdowns. Russell Wilson's got what? He's thrown for 25,
And here's
23 touchdowns. He's thrown for 23.
Here's the thing with him too. So we talk about signature wins, right? He's gonna have the benefit of playing better teams down the stretch of the game to get more signature wins. Lamar Jackson. They play the Texans this week. They go to LA and play the Rams. They're gonna play the 49ers. They play the Bills, the Jets. They're gonna play the Browns again. If the Browns pick it back up, that will look like a signature game. And then they end the season with the Steelers. So I mean, this 3-week stretch for him, like if he's dynamic, like I think he'll take.
What 3 weeks?
They play the Texans, the Rams, and the 49ers.
Cancel the Rams.
I mean,
The Rams don't look impressive offensively at all.
Still 5-4.
They don't look impressive offensively. Where's Ty Gurley?
He's to the league.
My point.
You being disrespectful over there,
That's my
cameraman.
point. I'm
talking
just
Ty.
The
saying.
cameraman over here being
What
disrespectful.
Ty Gurley at?
But if he kill, I mean,
Where's Ty Gurley? The Rams ain't putting up no points.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to well, the Seahawks. He'll have some opportunities. They play the Eagles this week. They play the Vikings. They play the Rams. They play the Panthers. They play the Cardinals, and then they'll end. So this will be the difference maker. They end the year with the 49ers.
You don't even have. That's not the difference maker.
So
Go back. They play the Eagles, and then who else?
The Vikings.
And then who else after that?
They play the Rams.
You cancel the Rams, and you cancel the Cardinals, and
They
who?
play the Panthers.
Come
Who
on.
are 5-4 with the Rams. They got the same record as the Rams.
The Rams. How many points did I think the Rams scored like what? 16 points, 12 points last
They
week.
lost the game 20-16, I believe.
What Ty Gurley at? Brandon Cooks, he can't stay off the concussion protocol. Jared Goff can't throw for over 150
They
yards.
lost 17-12.
Hey, come on. And you talking about the Rams being a signature win for the Ravens?
No, I didn't say they'd be a signature. I just named off the teams that he's going to play.
He gonna play the Texans and the Browns.
He's going to play the 49ers.
And the 49ers.
So that's the thing. So here's the thing. It's always, this is a what have you done for me lately era, just with sports, period. Everybody only wants to talk about what you just did the last 5 or 6 days. The one thing that Russ is going to have in his favor is that he plays the 49ers on the last game of the season. And if it's a meaningful game and he shines, that's going to sway voters his way.
Lamar Jackson been resting a lot.
Saying he playing no 4 quarters?
Say that, man. Russ, I think they got, and this ain't nothing. This ain't
Under the Curry Act.
Russ. Every single game they've played this year, it's been close. Like they're not.
Even the bad team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. When you are like there is, man.
But what I'm saying is
You
like,
performing and people get to see you,
But
but
I
they be
mean-
like, oh man, he doing this. Oh man, he
Do you
like,
get points for making comeback wins versus bad teams?
absolutely.
or do you get points for beating New England 37-20?
Yeah, but beating that. This is what I'm saying. If you beat New England one time, nobody. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, the famous we're on the Cincinnati game, right? Like Kansas City beat the shit out of New England. Even after that, it was just like, oh shit, that win meant nothing. Like
the first game of the year.
it was no, it was actually the second, I
The
believe.
second, I thought that was the game.
No,
where
that was the
Hunt
opener.
crazy.
That was the opener.
Yeah, that was the
That
game.
was
Where
the
Hunt
And
went
then,
crazy.
but then there was another time the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Patriots, and then they still went, deep in the playoffs. Like beating the Patriots one time is not like
They were undefeated when they beat them.
it's not. But what I'm trying to say is like the Patriots are. Everybody expects the Patriots to lose, and when they lose, it's oftentimes a bad loss, and sometimes it's often in prime time. Like that's the other thing that a lot of people don't.
But
And
here's the
it
thing,
doesn't.
though.
It's not like. It's like okay, you beat the Patriots, and
They were undefeated, and this might
This is
arguably,
not-
this
is
might
not an
argue,
and. This is not an and.
Why
win.
is this
This
not
is
an
an
and?
win.
this arguably
Why is
one of
this not
their
an
they
end?
best
They were
defensive
undefeated.
teams.
They were the best. They were on the mark to set defensive records that had been broken, and they still could. That's the thing too. Like
And
if
it's
the Patriots
still
run the
going to
table,
be an end.
if the Patriots run the table, and Lamar Jackson was the only quarterback to beat them, it's
Nobody-
going to mean something versus voters.
and nobody is going to remember that.
Oh,
Nobody. is
If
going
Russell
to
Wilson
remember
would have
that.
beat them,
he stopped them from having an undefeated season.
Duh.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like he's the only reason
Come on,
that they
bro.
don't have
on,
an undefeated season.
And then came
I
back.
watch pro football. I watch pro football weekly every week. The day after the Patriots lost, it was Chris Sims. I can't think of the other dude, and it was another guy on there. I can't think of the other dude, the host of the show. I can't think of his name. But they all said they was like, yeah, the Ravens won. They beat the Patriots handily. They was like, but this is classic Bill Belichick. I'm gonna throw a little bit out here, see what you do. Throw a little bit out here to see what you do. Throw a little bit out here, see what you do. Because if I had to play you again, now I know a little bit of what I need to do. Like they said, that's exactly what Chris Sims said about the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
I mean,
and
that's
that's why I'm
fine,
telling
though.
you,
That's
it's the
fine, though.
and. Like it's not as groundbreaking as y'all think. Like it's gonna be like, oh, well the Patriots ran the table and went 15-1. Their only losses to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. No,
I mean, you got to look at some of these teams though. Like the Bengals, like the first week of the year, man, Russell Wilson struggled against the Bengals. You looking at Lamar Jackson resting in the fourth quarter.
he defined struggle.
Oh, the score was 23-21.
Yeah, they had to
What
win.
was his stats?
They had to win.
What was his stats?
They had to win They win a game on the last series field goal
What was his?
after being up 2 touchdowns too. They were up 2 touchdowns in that game.
So the defense is now Russell Wilson's
I
fault.
mean, you still got to score points too, which they stopped. I mean, that's
That man was 14 for 20, 2 touchdowns. That's arguably his weakest game of the year.
How many yards did he throw for?
196.
Okay, and that's his worst game. The first game of the season.
I just want to know.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. When they lost to Baltimore,
He had what?
He didn't play well. 20 for 41, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then the next week versus the Falcons, he played 14 for 20, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. But if I read you these Lamar Jackson stats,
Yeah,
dog,
you remember when Lamar Jackson was going crazy the first 2 weeks of the season, and then everybody was like, "Well, we'll see if it continues to happen."
And then he tailed off.
And then he tailed off.
And then he had the
And then now
150,
he's back hot.
150.
He's been hot the last 3 weeks. He's been hot the last 3 weeks.
I'm just.
But my thing is though, like everybody just wanted to discredit him for those first 2 monster weeks, and then now we're giving credit to Russell Wilson for
Russell Wilson been
to beating bad teams
And-
from comeback.
yeah,
victories.
like Lamar, they beat
They were smoking those.
the
teams.
Bengals 49-13 on the road.
They were smoking teams, man. Come on, man.
And I just told you that Russell Wilson and the Seahawks barely beat them at home.
the first game, buddy.
So what about later on in the year when he was throwing for 190? What do that matter?
I'm
just
not
trying to tell
saying you're
y'all.
wrong. I
I'm
think
just trying to tell y'all.
it's a what have you done for me lately?
And
award.
Russell,
It really is.
And
Like,
Russell, Russell will do more. Look, mark this down. Russell will do more, and it will appeal more to voters because they will see him longer. They will see him longer. Remember this. They
So-
will see him longer.
Let's say both teams, what are their records right now? Let's see. Let me ask you this. Ravens end up with a better record.
Do I
Yeah.
think Lamar Jackson wins?
Yeah. Because they going to look at the record, man.
I mean,
The Ravens, in order
Seattle's 8-2. The Ravens are 7-2.
in order for Lamar Jackson to win, he has to be a top 2 seed in the AFC.
They get the top 2 seed.
I'm telling you, in order for Lamar Jackson to win the MVP, they have to be a top 2 seed in the AFC.
What about Russell Wilson?
I just think Russ just got to make the playoffs.
Not where they sitting right now.
They're
'Cause
8.
they 82. They can't start losing.
They're 8-2.
Bro,
but
they're already outperforming what everybody thought they would be.
No, but what I'm saying is the latter. What is it? What have you done for me lately? Right? You just said he's gonna be seen more. If they start losing some of these games towards the tail end of the year, that's gonna hurt his MVP.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. They're gonna see him more. If Lamar Jackson, so what's Kansas City's record? How many losses does Kansas City have?
They got like 4 losses.
Okay, so if Kansas City is
Super Bowl.
if Kansas City is able to snatch a top 2 seed in the AFC, right? Or let's say the Texans, which I don't think will happen. If the Texans become a top 2 seed in the AFC, that means Lamar has lost, because right now they only got 2 losses. That means he's lost more games than them.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that his production is going to decline.
That doesn't necessarily mean that. He still got the production.
No,
that
but
can
what
lift him.
I agree with what you're saying. Like if they lose, yeah, it's with either one of them, which is what I'm asking you with Russell.
But this is what I'm telling you with Russell. Nobody picked Seattle to make the playoffs. So them making the playoffs means that Russell had to perform at an MVP level on a week in, week out basis. The Ravens were picked by a lot of analysts, sports reporters, voters, all of that to make the playoffs, not the Seahawks. So that's what I'm saying. The Seahawks right now are playing with house money. Russell is playing with house money. Nobody expected the Seahawks right now to be 8-2. Nobody.
Right.
Nobody.
No, I get
so
that.
So the fact that they're 8-2 puts them up there. The fact that I don't even think anybody had them potentially winning their division, right? They had the Rams winning the division. So think about it. Like if Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks make the playoffs, that means they either won their division or they have a wild card, which means they outperform what majority of the voters and all of that thought they would do this year.
Well, I think a couple of us said they would be in the wild card race when we did our stuff. I don't know about everybody else.
I'm
but
talking about the voters.
I think we had them in the wild card race. We said they'd be in that.
A lot of the predictions I saw had them second in the division, behind.
And that's what they are.
Or winning the division.
They're still second in the
Yeah,
division.
no. Matter of fact, the 49ers was the team.
But I told y'all.
No, but I'm saying to
Okay.
the experts, they said that they actually picked the Seahawks to win the division. Look who's in the division? You got the was it the Rams?
The
The Rams. They
It's
probably
the
picked the
Rams.
Rams. They probably picked the Rams.
And
They probably picked Seattle
and
to finish
Seattle
second.
was second.
Okay,
And be in the conversation for a wild card.
But making it. That's what I'm saying. Making it. Who's your 6 playoff team, right? Who's your 6 playoff team? So if Baltimore is picked to win their division, they're automatically a playoff team. Automatically. So that's what I'm saying.
But I don't
That's
think people was that division was wide open for the most part. Besides the Bengals, I think people put the Bengals down, but the Ravens, people had the Steelers up there. Like people still believed in the Steelers, even though they had lost. Oh, people were high as hell on the Browns. They said the Browns.
They had the
like,
Browns.
come on, man. They had the Browns.
Super Bowl. People talking Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. And the Ravens are outperforming all of those teams. And say the Ravens get a bye. And then the Seahawks just make it.
But that's what I just said. If the Ravens get a top 2 seed, Lamar Jackson will win.
Yeah.
If they are not a top 2 seed, then you can give me Russell Wilson.
So if both teams are wild card teams, you're still gonna take Russell Wilson.
Absolutely.
I will. This
So-
is what I was saying.
I'm not saying I think they're neck and
They
neck.
got it.
I think
it's close.
like
Monday is Russell, Tuesday is Lamar. It's fucking close.
It is a what have you done for me lately league.
And that's what I'm saying.
So
These
we
last-
remember the 49ers come back, but then because we remember the 49ers come back because it was Monday night, correct? Or was that Sunday night?
Was that Sunday or Monday night?
Monday night.
Monday.
Night. So it was Monday night. So we see this overtime thriller. He leads his team after throwing the interception, which they should have won it way early in the overtime. He still sticks with it. They get this comeback. Well, not comeback. It was just back and forth, a lot of back and forth. He gets that win. So now all of a sudden, Russell's the MVP, and we forget about this great game that Lamar Jackson just had on Sunday because of what he did on Monday.
All I'm saying is they are exceeding expectations.
Both teams.
Yeah, but
Both teams.
either quarterback, Lamar or Rush,
I think it's
you can't. The last half of the season, these last games of the season, you can't. Like Russell can't. Like they can't start losing, and then if they start losing, like he's probably not going to be playing as good. Just like the same case.
That's for everybody. That was the case last year.
Yeah, like you can't.
With Breeze and Mahomes. Breeze lost some games at the end of the year. Mahomes kept winning. Obviously, Mahomes had the numbers.
8-2. Like they can't like lose like, or even like go like 500 or like lose more than they win.
Of course,
he's not going to win MVP like that.
You can't lose games
Yeah.
to win MVP.
Like even if they get in the wild card and they end up like 10-6, like
And I think he's not saying that either. I think he's not saying it. He still expects the Seahawks to win games and to be right there in the conversation with getting a bye in the NFC, which I think is going to happen too. I don't think they're just going to tail off.
so if they start losing, do his chances increase or decrease? Because he said they exceeded expectations already.
I'm going to say this again. If I want Lamar Jackson to win, you got to be a top 2 seed.
No, what does Russell have to do?
Nothing. He just told you
Make the
nothing.
playoffs.
Just make the playoffs. That's what he said.
Like this shit, make the playoffs.
Even if they slip. Even if they slip.
I mean, it looks like they're going to make the playoffs.
They're going to make it, but I'm saying, even if they slip.
It's not that good.
Make the playoffs.
NFC is just not that good.
Even if they slip.
Think about it, right? I don't know how else you want.
No, I'm saying if they like that. Let's say they only win 2 more games. I ain't saying
go,
that's gonna happen.
And they go 10-6.
They go 10-6 and they
they
lose.
make the playoffs.
And they make the playoffs, but we're gonna be seeing a lot of him losing the last half of the season.
And
That don't factor-
where does Lamar Jackson finish?
No, and I'm
I
saying if Lamar Jackson keeps steady in what he's doing,
Where do they? All I want to know is where do the Ravens finish?
finish.
Where do they finish?
Let's say they finish 3rd.
Say they win their division, they don't get a bye.
Russell Wilson.
There's your answer.
We'll see.
We have to poll that.
Because people have picked the Ravens to win the division. Some, like, yes, the Browns were the darling and everybody talked about it, blah, blah, blah. Who did they pick to win the division? Did they pick the Browns to win the division or did they pick the Ravens to win the division? That's
Or Pittsburgh. People were picking Pittsburgh.
but that's the standard. Who did they pick to win the division? Because the division winner automatically goes. So doing what people expected you to do is not impressive.
So wait, the Saints last year and the Chiefs, The Chiefs picked to win their division last year?
The Chiefs were what, 14-2?
But
The Chiefs had the number 1 seed. They were the number 1 seed,
but this is Mahomes.
and I even said last year, if Breeze continues on the path that he was on, not throwing a lot of interceptions, he would have won the MVP. But Breeze started throwing interceptions, and that's like, yes, Mahomes had this outstanding year stat-wise, right? But they were both winning. And what was the difference? Breeze started throwing interceptions. They started losing. Mahomes was still going. They were the number 1 seed. Mahomes wins the MVP.
I think Mahomes would have won it anyway. That was just me.
So no, what I'm saying is, at the beginning of the year, though, I don't think teams picked the because it was the uncertainty on Mahomes.
I mean, you had
and I don't think people picked the Saints to
So-
win the division either.
So
It
again,
probably was
look
the
at,
Chiefs and the Chargers. Probably.
but so then look at it. That makes my point even more. If the Chiefs weren't picked to win their division, right? Let's say the Chiefs last year weren't picked to win the division, and they get the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. They have to have the MVP. They have to. They have to.
I mean, I've seen it happen all too often that person doesn't win it.
What
Doesn't win the MVP.
the person with the number 1 overall seed
Yeah, all the time. Happens all the
doesn't
time.
win the MVP?
Yeah, it happens all the time. Happens all the time. Every sport.
Yeah.
Every sport. I mean, it.
And
It
but
also
they
depends on-
outseed the expectation. That's what I'm saying.
I think that to me is the definition of an MVP, like someone who raises their team way above to where they were supposed to be. But that ain't everybody definition though.
I mean, look at how
Some
many
people only go with the number 1. They
Some
see
people do.
they see the number 1 seed. They
Davis
like
Wall.
they gotta have the best.
They gotta have the
player on
best
their
player in
team.
the
The
league.
best player on their team has to be the MVP, right? I mean,
That's all I'm saying. The Chiefs, you gotta outperform what they expect you to do to be an MVP. You have to.
I don't think you necessarily have to.
And you got to end the year strong.
I don't necessarily think you gotta end the year strong.
Look at Breeze, man. You just said it.
But but again, Patrick Mahomes exceeded everybody's He was the number 1 overall seed, right?
Yeah, but he didn't have he did it.
How many games did the Chiefs lose last year?
2.
It was 2 games, 14-2.
2.
I mean, he was undeniably the MVP last year. I mean,
I said when we said on the podcast, I said if Breeze continues on with this tier of his accuracy and his low number of interceptions, he's gonna win MVP. If they because they are gonna keep winning games. Mahomes will have to keep winning games, right? They both will have to keep winning games. The only difference would have been that Breeze would have probably thrown for what? Let's say 30, 40 touchdowns and maybe 1 or 2 interceptions, right? But Breeze started throwing interceptions. They started losing. Patrick Mahomes kept going. He finishes 14-2. If y'all like this, and then one person keeps going like this, and the other one stays steady, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm telling you. Russell Wilson, his team wasn't picked to win the division. His team wasn't picked to make the playoffs, potentially.
Not true.
Yeah, people had them right behind the Rams.
They had to make
doesn't
the playoffs.
mean you
They had to
make
be in
the
a wild
playoffs.
card.
They
That
definitely
doesn't
be in
mean
a
you
wild
make the
card.
playoffs.
They had to be in a wild card.
Yeah.
They had to be in a wild card.
They had to.
People were picking them to be
They had
one of the
them.
6 teams.
To be one of the 6.
And then when you keep saying you got to keep producing, that's what I'm saying. If Russell Wilson, it's so close now, you can't, the last 4 or 5 games, start backtracking, and then the other person, let's not even say is super exceeding, but he's staying steady, and you're backtracking, you're not going to win, even if they make the playoffs. You can't backtrack, and the other person stays steady, and then you all of a sudden they exceeded expectations. Yeah, but the last 4 games of the year, you didn't produce like you had been producing. He's not going to win it like that. He's got to keep steady and they win, or he's got to keep doing what he's been doing and they keep winning. Because if he falls back and let's say either way, if Lamar Jackson does that, let's say he falls back and Russ just stays steady.
Keep telling y'all.
Russ is going to win it.
Keep telling y'all it's a what Have you done?
You
for
can't.
me?
It's the last 3-4 games of the year. It's gonna matter. Russ, it's not like he got it in the bag.
It always.
Because it's close, man. Like today is
I feel
Russell. Lamar could lose the next game. Is like Russ could lose the next game. It's gonna be Lamar. Lamar lose. It's gonna be Russell.
It's always like that, though. MVP race is always like that. So we'll see down the stretch.
Speaking of playoffs, good old Bama and LSU.
That was a hell of a game.
For all you Bama fans out there, send my condolences.
That was a hell of a game, though. Even if you were a Bama fan, it hurt to lose that one, but that was a hell of a game.
I will say I wasn't surprised. LSU, we've been saying it.
Yeah, I mean,
They've been looking damn good. Like,
hell yeah. They're saying that is it Burrow or is it Barrow? Burrow, right? Best recruit in LSU history.
He was that last year.
Say he's the best recruit LSU's ever got.
I disagree.
Coach said that.
They had Leonard Fournette.
Say he's better than him.
Get the fuck out of here. They had Odell Beckham. Jarvis Landry. Right? You got your damn mind.
Say best recruit LSU history.
Who said that?
The coach said it.
Eddie O said that?
Coach said
I
it.
can't trust a man that's how I got involved in this story. I'm good. Hell
Go
no.
ahead, Dougie. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. Once I heard that, I started laughing. What up?
What?
Yeah. Best recruit LSU history.
I'm living in the moment.
He was definitely, he said this after the game.
It's after the game.
He was in the moment. He was just happy. He was just fucking happy to be there.
Best recruit in LSU history.
Jamal Adams didn't go there. Tyrann Mathieu didn't go there. What the?
Better than a honey badger.
Right. Come on, man. I don't even want. What was the question? I don't even want to.
Go ahead.
You got what? Are you for real?
Dead ass.
See, I gotta look up this. For real?
I'm dead ass. He said that. I'm dead ass. He said it. But go ahead. You forgot your train of thought.
What?
So what we have here is
Bro.
Bama gonna make the playoffs, man. Are they going to make the playoffs? I definitely lost my train of thought.
I need a drink. Nigga, he said what?
Hey, man, hey, listen. I'm just here to deliver the news. You hear me? I don't make the quotes, okay? Are they going to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
What's the college football playoff without Alabama? Of course they're going to make it. They're going to make sure they make it. Have y'all watched the Buffalo Wild Wings commercials? Have y'all seen them hit that button? Do y'all know that Alabama will find a way to get into the college football playoff? They will find a way. Because the ratings will be down the tubes if they don't make it. And they know it. They know it.
Bama won't make it. And as soon as they won't make it, and as soon as they don't make it, you're going to see a 16 or 18 playoff.
So you saying they're gonna change the
What?
trajectory? It's coming.
I've said this. I said this when the college football playoff came.
All right.
The year Bama doesn't make it, they're going to expand it. They're going to expand it. Because five hit it on the head. If Bama don't make it, they're going to feel like all the ratings going to suck. Everybody wants to see Bama whether they win or lose. Bama's not going to make it. And I'm telling you, it'll be 2020. By 2021, you're going to have an 18 playoff. 6 to 18 playoff.
And if Oregon does not make it, the West Coast will.
You're gonna have no. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the Pac-12.
Yeah, you say that, but they will rise. The way they will rise. They say Jesus will rise.
Listen,
They will rise.
listen. You know how you stay up to watch the Lakers game because you're a Laker fan.
Mm-hmm.
Who's staying up to watch USC or Oregon or Washington State?
The West Coast.
Yeah, that's it.
The West
Ain't nobody over here staying up to watch that.
California is a big football state. You know that.
I
Come on,
understand.
you know
But
that.
ain't nobody staying up to watch that over in the East Coast and in the Midwest. Nobody.
I watched some Pac-12 games and shit
Yeah, a couple of
because I had money on them.
them. My point exactly. Ain't nobody staying to watch that.
Yeah,
You think because the Pac-12 don't make it, boy, don't nobody care if Pac-12 don't make it.
What Deion say?
Ain't nobody care.
You think somebody care if they make it?
Yep,
They ain't even in
ride.
the top 5.
They right. They in top 6. They 6.
They not even in the top 5.
They 6 now.
They not even in the top 5.
If Bama would have lost that game the way that they should have lost it, instead of
They
making
still
that-
would've been
that
in the
comeback,
top 5.
They would have been in the top 5.
Tell
Bama would have
another
failed to
lie.
6.
Tell another lie.
Bama would have failed to 6.
Tell another
If
lie.
they would have lost that football game by 2 touchdowns, like they should have, they shouldn't have came back in the first place.
5. Tell another lie.
I'm telling you.
Don't know. Listen, not a nan other soul outside of the West Coast of the United States of America care about the Pac-12. Nobody.
I'm just telling you.
Nobody.
I'm just telling you. They beat Auburn already this year.
No.
So what about Big Ten?
Nobody.
Minnesota runs the table. What are their chances?
Ooh. If they run the table, that means they got to win the Big Ten championship.
They got Iowa, Northwestern,
No.
and Wisconsin.
No, they can't just.
I mean, you telling me they got to beat Ohio State to run the table?
They either got to beat Ohio State
Good
or
luck.
Penn State
Good luck.
to run the table.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Good luck.
Throw that out there.
You threw it out there. Just go ahead and throw it.
Good luck. But
It's-
impressive win by them though. Impressive.
Man, have some bull.
Impressive.
You upset?
They exposed Penn State's defense. I think Penn State exposed their defense a little bit too though. That won't happen though.
I don't think Bama's gonna make it though.
That won't happen. What? Are you kidding me?
They not making it, man. It's okay.
This is the NCAA we talking about. We talking about dollars.
Hey man.
They already talking about paying players, so you know they finna pay themselves.
How are they gonna make it? Tell me tell me how.
Georgia's gonna have to play LSU in the SEC championship game, if I'm not correct, right? If they continue to win.
Yeah, but yes.
So say they play LSU in the championship game, they lose by 14 or 21.
Who's the top 4 teams right now?
LSU,
LSU,
OSU, Clemson.
Clemson and
Georgia.
Georgia, with Alabama following. Say they have a poor
So that's the Big Ten,
Big Ten, ACC,
SEC, and two
and
SEC.
2 SEC schools. Say they have a piss poor showing in the SEC championship game.
But that means Bama has to run the table. Bama has
Oh,
to.
absolutely. Oh, they can't lose again. Oh, no, hell no. They can't lose a game. And they gotta be impressive in the games.
Yeah. They got Mississippi State, West Carolina, and Auburn.
They have a Georgia looks. First of all, Georgia ain't look that good to me, actually, to be honest with you. But say they run it. But say they go up against LSU, they lose by like 21. They get smashed.
Patrick Peterson ain't go to LSU. You know what? I'm going.
You ain't gonna go down there and say that. You ain't gonna say nothing to him.
Who?
You ain't gonna say nothing to the coach.
Who? Eddie-O?
You see his neck?
I don't give a about his neck.
You see that boy's neck?
I kick him in it for saying that statement.
That neck look like an AC.
All right, keep going. Because I'm still stuck on that.
Best recruiting LSU this. Anyways, if Georgia loses to LSU by 21,
Right.
that makes Alabama's loss look so much more better, and they will lead them in the standings, and they will get in.
So is that what you think is gonna happen?
That's what he's
You
hoping.
know it's gonna happen.
He's praying for it.
They finna hit the button. You know that. Come on, man. We talking about the NCAA, man. We talking about the same NCAA who just suspended. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The defensive end for Ohio State for 2 games, and they just so happen to be playing Maryland and Rutgers in those 2 games. And guess who they play week 3?
Penn State.
Penn State. All right. So we're gonna teach them a lesson against these 2 weak teams. They got a Showtime big game coming up. We gotta promote him in the game. Let's bring him on back week 3.
Chase Young, for those that don't know.
Man, I think I don't even. Bama not making it.
I
They gonna
don't think that.
We're going to have this 16 playoff,
They gonna
man.
make-
I'm trying to tell y'all.
Y'all know it.
Bama's not going to make it. We're going to have a 16 playoff. Where the camera at? Up there? Bama's not going to make it. We're going to have a 16 playoff the following year. Mark it down. 18, 16, 18. However many teams they need, Bama going to get in there. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, so you have something you want to add to it?
No, that's it. I mean, they gonna make it. Y'all know they gonna make it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I like your scenario.
It's going to happen. I'm telling y'all. Come on now. Ravens gonna
Auburn
suck.
got a good team too now.
I watched them.
They got a good team.
That game is at home too, in that.
And Tua is hurt.
Look good in the second half though.
He's hurt.
That's a good hurt, man. He had over 400 yards passing.
He is hurt.
It's tough though. It's gonna be tough though. I mean, to be honest with you, Georgia just don't look good. So I'd rather Bama be in anyway. So those are the. Somebody say this. Somebody say, are you gonna have the four most deserving teams, or are you gonna have the 4 best teams?
Hey, I hate that. I fucking hate when people
You
say
as a vote getter, you as a voter, what would you decide?
the 4 most deserving teams. It's the 4 most deserving teams. If you lose, you lose. If you're the best, don't fucking lose.
Oh, that's gonna be the name of the episode. If you lose, you lose.
Don't lose. If you the best, don't lose. Don't give me that. Who's the best team? Nigga, you lost.
You know,
And you lost at home.
You know they're gonna.
And you was getting beat.
They're gonna put the 2 best teams up. They're gonna put that 4 and that 5 and those 6. And they're gonna be like, who's the best team out of these 3?
Okay, Paul Feinbaum.
If you lose, you lose.
Okay, Paul Feinbaum. All right, Paul.
If you don't remember
You know how
nothing else,
you know how you did in the last election, and you said, "Damn, I don't want to vote for any one of these people, but I'm gonna vote for the best person out of these 2." That's what they gonna do. I don't want to vote for any one of these teams, but I'm gonna pick the best person.
That's what you did at the election?
Nah, I want Trump's vote.
if you don't remember anything
Anybody but
else,
Trump.
remember this.
So you just went up there and
What was
voted?
that? ABT? Anybody but Trump?
That's what you went up there and did. It didn't matter who was up there.
Oh, I didn't give a damn.
Maggie Simpson was up there.
Ooh, I would've
Check
voted for
in
Maggie.
the box. If you
Somebody
lose,
if somebody put Hennessy in the vote thing, it might have been me. Never, don't know.
if you lose, you lose. I'm just saying.
Best team of the most
Come
deserved.
on, Orenthal. Come on, y'all got the cameraman over here.
The nigga lost. They lost. At home, you talking about the best team.
You know they gonna do it.
If you the best team, you should have
You
lost.
think they not gonna do that? You know that's what they gonna do. They put your
Alright.
strength of schedule up there. They put your wins. They put your loss,
I thought
and they
Paul-
compare.
I thought Paul Feinbaum was ridiculous.
That's what they do. I'm not saying I think it's right, but I'm telling y'all that's what they do. Just like in college basketball. When I go up there and I do my March Madness bracket, and I do my strength of schedule.
Did you just compare?
I mean, that's pretty much what it is, though, right? It's just a 4-team March Madness. I mean, right? That's what it is, right?
You lose. You
I mean, that's what it is, though, A. Will, right? Am I not lying? It's a 4-team
Hell yeah, you
March
lying.
Madness.
Hell yeah, you lying.
What? You got voters. You got the same thing. They voting on strength of schedule, wins, losses.
And if you lose, you lose. What the fuck you talking about? Yes. If you lose, you lose. You don't. If you lose, you don't deserve to go.
I see teams get in with 14 losses in March Madness. I see teams with three losses not get in.
Don't bring me some mid-major school that ain't played nothing but Podunk State University.
Just letting you know. Just letting you know.
First you came on here with this Eddie O, then you started talking about the Pac-12. What you had in that cup over there?
This is a little Oreo, a little smooth.
Yeah, Oreo my ass. So
I wish it was some liquid.
we still talking college. James Wiseman.
Oh, we still
Suspended.
Show.
Oh yeah, Chase. We're gonna intertwine. Chase Young. I have been thrown off by a few things today.
If you lose, you
Oh, then the man said he was the best recruit in the history. I've been
I
thrown
mean,
for
I
a
didn't
loop.
say it. I mean, I just...
He wasn't even a coach for the whole time.
He ain't even a player. He ain't gonna say some of that shit.
The cameraman got up, bro.
He wasn't even a coach. He wasn't even a coach. Oh, Les Miles there, Odell was there still.
Nick Saban was there, Les Miles. Like they had somebody in between. He could.
He ain't been there long enough to make a statement like that.
What the?
Oh man.
Just letting y'all know what the man said.
Chase Young from Ohio State was suspended. What was he suspended for?
For accepting money.
Accepting
Accepted
money.
money
From
to
a
get
family
his
friend
To get his girl.
to
to come to the Rose
game.
Bowl.
Oh man.
And he paid it back.
Paid it back.
Oh, I was suspending him too.
See what I'm saying?
He's always getting us in trouble back.
Come on.
Oh, only in America. Oh.
We're gonna bleep that out.
No, this show is going completely to hell. It's going to hell.
We're gonna lose definitely subscribers. We're gonna lose some subscribers.
We just need to go top.
James Wiseman from Memphis. What he got suspended? I can't even think.
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely for moving. What didn't Penny move him?
Penny gave him $11,000 to move from one part of Tennessee to Memphis, Tennessee, to play for the high school team that Penny coached. Yeah, and to be able to play for his AAU team.
So he's been called technically a booster.
I mean, he is.
But now he's his coach.
He still went to Memphis. He's a booster. He's a booster coach. He's a coach booster.
Oh my
I
God.
have had one thing I would have wanted to say about that. Why isn't Penny in trouble?
He probably is in trouble, but he's not in trouble because they haven't went through everything.
I don't think I've ever seen.
That's my thing though. Like they've named him specifically in the case. And he's still coaching at the school.
You know, it's always gonna come to players.
It's gonna start with the player first, and then they're gonna go to the coach next for the wrongdoing. I don't think, and then it's like they're not gonna fire the coach. They're just gonna punish the team by punishing the coach. Or they're gonna punish the coach by saying you can't coach the next 15 games, right? And it's James Wiseman's situation is worse than Chase Young's situation. Yeah, much worse. Because at least
it's a flight.
Huh?
Young's was just a flight.
No, but Young's was like a family friend.
Maybe a little hotel, maybe a little double tree or something.
This is the difference. Chase Young's was a family friend, so it could have been like a long time family friend.
Which you know is a lie. He was a booster too.
He probably was. Who knows, right? But the other, Penny, that's like recruiting,
It's his fucking coach.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, it's like recruiting 1-0. Hey, look, you know, it's like I know, but it's like, dude, I move you from. I hate to say this.
Listen, I moved you from Country Club Hills to the West Side and go ahead and go to Whitney Young.
And then
Here's your money.
And then
I get a job at UIC.
And then you come to
you
UIC.
come to play at UIC and you come to play for me.
It's recruiting. I hate to say.
How is he not in trouble?
No, but that's why I say James Wiseman's is worse than Chase Young's. That's what I'm saying. Because Penny literally maneuvered and manufactured this to work out in his best interest. Cause this was his play. You get what I'm saying?
I've never seen before that game, before they played UIC Memphis, didn't they have to go to court?
No, he just
they just
have to go to court. They
went to court. Yeah, they went to court. All of this happened
to get a temporary.
Yeah,
stoppage
I've
of
never
it.
ever.
But so Jay Bills was talking about it a little bit earlier. So he was saying that they're not in. There are going to be consequences of what happened with Penny. But he said the NCAA is actually more mad at them for going to the court and filing this order when they specifically told the university that he was ineligible. So it's like, okay, we told you this one thing, you went over our head to stop it, and when we already told you that he was ineligible. So that's what they think could come down, and they could come down harder on them because of how they handled it.
So I'm gonna take these two situations and I'm gonna add something to it. Being that now the law is passed where players can soon they're gonna be able to get paid for their likeness and their name, right? Does this remove any recruiting scandal that potentially can happen? So paying players to come to a school.
Oh, people are still gonna do that.
But now it's going to be legal. Like because now,
No, that's not. No, it's not legal.
think of I'm paying you for your likeness and your name. Like so, think about it. When Baker Mayfield was
Not
there,
to move your family though.
nah, I'm not saying to move your family. I'm just saying now as the talent pool, right? Now I know I can buy this player. Like I can legally, and I hate to say it in this way, but that's what it's probably gonna turn out. Like the player is gonna go to the highest bidder. I hate to say it that way, but that's ultimately what they're opening doors up. Because now, like think about it. Now, like okay, James is in Memphis because of his relationship with Penny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Penny knows that. Penny wanted James to follow him wherever he went, right? So he just said, hey, look, I'm gonna move you over here. Boom. He probably never thought he would get the Memphis job. He probably never thought he was up in the runnings for it, right?
100% true.
So he ended up getting it, and James was like, okay, I'm going with my coach. But if, let's say, like you have a Duke, a North Carolina, a Kansas, a Kentucky, a Memphis, and the player's like, okay, well, I can go to any school I want to because now I can sell my name and my likeness, right? Now you may have people bidding for their signatures or bidding for this or bidding for that, and it's like, okay, well, shit, Memphis gonna give me $2.5 million for my.
I don't think they can do that though. I think what they mean by like the likeness, I think they mean like
Sales,
they can
jerseys,
sell like
and-
jerseys, merchandise, but they can't like literally just say, hey.
But can I set up? So think of Johnny Manziel when he was in there, right? And they set up that whole autograph thing, the signatures.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like he would get money off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm
You guys can
going.
do that.
So I'm going to this. So essentially, I'm going to the school, and this is what I mean by the highest bid. I'm going to the school that gives me the ability to sell the most of my player likeness.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. I mean yeah, I mean and especially the high profile schools. I mean they're gonna benefit the most out of it. Obviously, they'll be able to sell merchandise and
You know what I mean?
you know you got your North Carolinas, your Dukes, your Kansas, your
Shout out Cole
UCLA.
Anthony.
Yeah, he's been balling.
He's a problem.
yeah, he's a baller. Greg Anthony's son is a problem.
Oh, okay.
He's very good. But
That's
anyways, anyways,
If you lose, you fucking lose. There's no winning from losing.
None.
that is true though. Ain't no moral victory.
No more
I hate
victory.
that. I hate that. Moral victory, that is the dumbest thing anybody's ever come up with in their life. But anyways, like, yeah, the big schools will obviously benefit from it, but you won't just be able to say, like, hey,
Here go $2 million.
here's $2 million, come play for me. And you can't say, oh, your grandma, move your grandma out that one
Well,
bed
no,
with
you
a
can't
pair of
move
carpet.
nobody. You ain't moving nobody.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
I'll move you on down here to Lawrence, Kansas.
You know what's crazy though?
So
You know
she
what's
can be
crazy?
right here.
That's,
It happens though.
Penny pulled the blue chip.
yeah, man.
Oh,
Look.
yeah.
No,
Bush-
like
Bush-
his
Oh,
his
Bush- oh, yeah, he
role.
pushed him. Oh, yeah, he pushed him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he pushed him. Bush McCraven.
Hey, coach, if I leave the school, does my mama lose her house and her job?
Hey, man say, Five say he moved from Country Club Hills to the west side
Out west.
to go play for Whitney Young. Then
Yeah,
you get a
moved.
job at UIC. You go for-
You said, hey,
You
come
didn't
play
even
for
say
me.
DePaul. He said UIC.
Nah,
You just
DePaul awful. I watched DePaul the other day. They were so bad. They're bad. I don't know what Leno doing over there. Shout out to DePaul though. But yeah. I mean, what?
I don't know, man. But if you want bad,
Remember when Coach from Julian used to do that though?
what?
Coach from Julian used to do that.
There you go. See, he's snitching. I'm gonna be honest. Hey, when you was
15 years ago.
Wow. All right, 6'9".
15 years ago.
When you was in college, did they like you ever ask somebody to give you money? Not. I'm saying like a family.
you are
friend.
trying to get.
No, because I was really finna say like how did
Be a
you,
try?
no. I was really finna say like
Oh, man.
give y'all a story about myself, how it had to be done. Like that should be legit serious.
No, I'll tell y'all how we got money though in college. We had like jobs on campus jobs.
Yeah,
And
y'all got paid. Yeah,
they would be like 45-minute jobs.
like study tables.
But we put down 4 hours. 4 hour days.
Oh,
I would say 4 hours.
I never worked less than 6. At least that's
Boo
what
was
they-
with us. Actually, Boo was
Yeah,
with us.
that's-
Boo was
that's
with us.
it.
Doing the cameraman. That man take 2 games a week.
Mm-hmm. But 40 hours though.
Man had 20 hours a week a check. 40 hours.
This episode. I can't wait till this go talk.
Oh man.
I'm just saying.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Booth.
Yep.
Go talk.
Play. He played 3.
What?
12,
What?
12 seasons in NFL.
You ain't even got your notes out,
I don't need
man.
them in my head. He played 14 seasons in NFL.
You said 12.
You said
I'm
you went
going-
12 to 14.
I'm switching up. I'm going play A. Play A. 14 seasons in NFL. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 34 interceptions, 911 tackles. Player B. 12 seasons.
He said 34.
Let me say it again.
Keep going, man.
He had 34 interceptions.
34 interceptions, 911 tackles. That's
Two
player A.
Super Bowls.
2 Super Bowls.
13 seasons.
14. Player B, 12 seasons, 3-time Super Bowl champion, 23 interceptions, 625 tackles. That's all I'm giving you.
I should be talking about either cornerbacks or safeties. It's men's football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Men's football.
The first one is Deion Sanders.
What? There's no, that'd be a terrible go talk. There's no comparison.
It's not Deion?
No. I would never pick Deion Sanders or Troy
How many-
Polamalu. Those are terrible. Those are the GOATs. It's like me trying to do a go talk with Tom Brady. Or Michael Jordan. Be pointless.
There was a conversation on Facebook between Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Yeah, I wouldn't in that one because it wasn't a smart one. They should have had that one.
Don't endow it, man.
It was Ray's cousin.
I'm definitely going to. Go, let's finish this,
We
Booth.
said a long time ago.
Because I said I was going to talk about him. Let's finish this. My God.
I mean, he kind of had some. Never mind.
That man said Horace Grant paved the way for Dennis Rodman.
I didn't read that.
That's what he said.
It was too many comments.
That's what he said. He said Horace Grant paved the way for Dennis Rodman.
Okay, all right, wait. Let's not get lost. Let's not get
You
lost.
think what you thought. What you thought was right.
No, I want to know what, like, I'll ask you. I'll ask it later. Hold on. I'll ask it later.
You didn't mean to say that?
One played 14, one played 12,
Mm-hmm.
and one had 2 Super Bowl championships.
Mm-hmm. That one had 3.
How many interceptions again?
Player A had 34. Player B had 23.
Player A is Rodney Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney Harrison from Chicago. Went to Marion Catholic.
Mm-hmm. My sister was fine. She went to Central. Facebook friend, Instagram friend. Oh, yeah, she's beautiful. Sierra, never forget that. Never forget her.
Somebody guess player B. For the love of God. Somebody guess player B.
I'm serious, man. I'm pointing out facts.
Somebody guess player B. Somebody throw a name out there.
I don't know who it could be.
So,
I would not expect it to say that.
Somebody guess player B.
How many Super Bowls player B got?
3.
Rodney Harrison. Ooh. I'm just trying to think who you can compare him to.
Oh. Oh, man. No, it ain't him.
Gotta be a safety, right? Gotta be another safety, right? Come on, man, stop laughing.
So beautiful. Quiet though.
Yo, we got
Angel like that.
You gonna tell the girl business?
Oh.
I don't. Just give us player B.
Darren Woodson.
Oh.
I would have never guessed him.
Yeah, I was. What do you think?
Do you even have his stats? No, he in jail.
Oh my god.
Darren Woodson in jail? No, I ain't seen him on first take.
Wow.
Oh my god.
What'd he do?
Didn't he get in trouble for like? Never mind. Shut up, man.
There's so much going on right now.
Google that. I know he was
There's so much.
incarcerated.
He said.
So much. Rodney Harrison just off the strength of the last name.
You're not even gonna look this up.
Dude, at this
Rodney
point,
Harrison, that's what Rodney Harrison too.
is he in jail?
He did. I don't know.
He did do something.
He did something.
I'm finna tell you what he did.
No, don't tell us.
No, you thinking about the wrong Darren. It's Darren Sharper.
Okay, there you go. I'm like, yeah,
I'm gonna say, yeah, he came in jail.
you didn't know.
Yeah, I was just about to say, fool, you ain't know. I was like, he ain't in jail.
R1 is calling.
Go ahead, we get that on film.
The way this been going.
We got our first
See if he
call.
got any hot takes.
We got our first call.
I'm gonna go with Rodney Harrison.
My phone is not working up here.
Dude,
It was just working. Episode 9 is not working.
I'm gonna go with Rodney Harrison. What y'all got?
Rodney Harrison.
I'm going Rodney because my phone ain't working. Is you really legit not working?
I can't remember anything great Darren Woodson did.
One? I can't either.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rodney. I'm gonna go with Rodney Harrison.
If you lose,
You lose.
you
I can't
lose.
remember anything great. There was.
Darren Woodson just lost his GOAT talk. Clean sweep.
Mm.
So, okay, real quick
You got
before
five.
we end.
So you got 5.
Man, me and my cousin, so it was I think I shared something on Facebook about LeBron. And no, it was about Jordan. I shared it about Jordan. I put GOAT of all GOATs. My cousin Alan gives a backhanded compliment and says, yeah, he's the greatest entertainer of all time.
He did say that.
I said, don't come
Like he was
on.
Michael
I
Jackson.
said, don't come on my
He did.
don't come on my status giving MJ no backhand compliments, right?
Okay.
So we going back and forth, and he has this narrative that I feel has to die that LeBron has played with much better talent than Michael Jordan could ever imagine. Okay, he's gonna
Hey,
have
say that again.
LeBron James has played with more talent than Michael Jordan has played with in his career. Michael Jordan's best point guard was John Paxson and B.J. Armstrong. You could throw in Steve Kerr, Craig Hodges, right? He's had
Ron Harper.
and Ron Harper later in his career, right?Ron Harper wasn't making no All-Star teams with them, right? LeBron has played with Kyrie Irving as his point guard. He's played with Kevin Love. He's played with Chris Bosh. He's played with Dwayne Wade. Okay.
You didn't even name.
Wait. I'm getting to them. Outside of Scotty and Dennis Rodman, who came for the second three-peat, what Hall of Famers did he play with that were in their primes?
And then he mentioned Horace Grant.
And he said Horace Grant. And he was like, well, Horace wasn't no slouch. I was like, dude, he was like, Horace Grant paved the way for Dennis Rodman. I
I
said,
mean,
dude.
Tony Kukoc would probably be comparable to Chris Bosh and Kevin Love. Tony Kukoc was no slouch.
Tony Kukoc didn't do anything before he got to. He was in Croatia, came to Chicago. He was a six-man.
He was a
I wouldn't put him on the Bosh.
perennial all-star. No.
I wouldn't put him on the
Tony
Bosh
Kukoc
level.
was.
What did he do after?
He was very good. Don't get me wrong. But
What did he do
wasn't-
after?
He wasn't on that levels.
We're talking about Kevin Love, who Tony Kukoc couldn't have led a franchise.
Dude, Horace Grant actually was really good.
He was a very solid role player.
No,
Very
he
solid.
was
Like
act-
14 and 10, 14 and 8, 15 and 8.
I think y'all not giving Tony Kukoc no credit. I'm
Dude,
sorry.
there was some playoffs, and during that 3-peat where like Grant was getting like 20 and 10, like 19 and 10.
He wasn't averaging that for a series.
Dude, I had to look it up too. I was very shocked to see Horace's numbers.
But to keep it, he
Go
wasn't
ahead.
a Chris
I don't
Bosh.
think y'all giving.
Man, I
don't think y'all giving Tony Kukoc enough credit.
I'm not saying he was bad, but I'm just
He was a six-man. He was what he was, a six-man.
he was great role player.
I mean, LeBron also had Ray Allen.
He reminds me of like a Lamar Odom. He was like that Lamar Odom.
That's not a slouch.
No, Lamar Odom wasn't a slouch either, but he wasn't like when Lamar Odom was with the Lakers, like he was very good. But if you look at his numbers, you wouldn't be like, man, like
I mean, when Jordan wasn't playing, when he retired, Kukoc was there. You remember what Kukoc did?
Yeah, but that's like Kevin Love right now in Cleveland.
Kevin Love has been hooping.
Kevin Love actually.
He has been hooping.
And
My
what's
point-
Cleveland doing?
My point is, these guys are Hall of Famers. Like Chris Bosh is going to be a Hall of Famer. Kevin Love is going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, and LeBron got to play with these guys in their primes. Like, look at, dude, if I named you the roster from 1991 and I named you the roster from LeBron's.
You can't do that. I
No. Listen what I'm saying.
All right.
He's played with more talent.
Look at the roster that LeBron James had in the finals in 07.
No, outside of that. Like that, I will say LeBron, 2 years he's been to the finals, he's had a team that was like, okay, especially that 07 team. But he's been on teams where he's been stacked. Stacked.
I mean, Jordan.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna continue to say this. Scottie Pippen was very good, but Scottie Pippen was nowhere near the player that Dwayne Wade was.
Oh, I thought you was about to say
yeah.
something.
No, and look,
Nowhere near the player that Dwayne
yeah,
Wade was.
like,
I thought you was about to say something. I was about to leave. I was about to
But
leave.
there's people that would put Scottie like in an all-time like small forward, like best top three small forwards.
Oh, okay. All right.
Top three small
Dude.
forwards. Like Wade is the third best shooting guard to ever play.
dude, he's played with better talent, and especially in their primes.
To me, there's a lot of small forwards I would take from Scottie.
But that was my thing though. He always says like, well, LeBron did less. I'm like, no, man. People forget that Miami Heat team, they second on the all-time winning streak list with they won 27 games in a row. Like, dude, Ray Allen, Mike Miller, like Bosh, Wade.
So you don't agree with Allen? That's what you're saying.
Me or Eric. My cousin Eric came in there. But the Horace Grant comment, he paved the way for Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was already winning championships and winning Defensive Player of the Years. Like, that was asinine. That was completely disrespectful.
Maybe he warmed up his spot to Chicago.
No, man, no. Okay, no.
I don't know.
All right, no.
Okay.
Horace played the hell out of his role. But, I mean, you remember what Horace did after Chicago? When he went to Orlando, his career didn't, like, they had the 1 year where they beat Jordan when he came back, and then what happened after that?
He was solid with LA. He had a ring with
Like I said.
He was actually his numbers were the same. Same with the Magic as they were with the Bulls. He was a double-double though. 15 to 10, 14 to 10.
He paved the way for Rodman.
I mean,
Hey,
what did Rodman really do but rebound?
He paved the way for Rodman.
No, he paved the way for his
Paved the way for Harvey Grant.
I mean,
and Harvey paved the way for Jerry.
if Horace never left though, like they would have never went after Rodman.
Yeah, but I mean,
So I mean, I'm not gonna say like I think pave is the wrong word to use, but him leaving allowed them to seek another power forward in which they found Rodman and they just found the jump.
You don't use paved the way like people. You use paved the way for people like Rose
paved the
Parks.
way for somebody, and you weren't even in the
King.
league. Rodman was in the league before him. How do you pave the way?
Like Jerry West. Those are
Yeah,
paved the
like,
way kind of
yeah,
guys.
That was wrong. It was the wrong word.
Not Horace Grant.
Wrong word. But I see where I think I see where he was going.
No, you don't. He
Pave. I don't know what pave.
Julius Erving.
And
with
don't
that.
ever say Mike played with more talent than LeBron.
Yeah.
I see some
And now
Julius
he's
Erving
playing with
numbers.
Anthony Davis.
And Kyle Kuzma.
Man, look.
We already through.
Kyle Kuzma gonna be all
It's
the
time to
time.
go home.
Calling it right now. Hot take.
Follow us.
Scotty wasn't that good. I'm ready to say it.
Look.
He wasn't that good.
Look into the people. This is good.
He was-
This show has gone to shit. You hear me? It's going to sugar and shit.
All right.
Say it.
Don't say it again.
Please don't say
Don't
it.
say it.
Please. You already see this bad energy came when you started with that Eddie O boy.
That damn Oreo. Ain't no Oreo.
What
What
the
you
hell's
gonna
wrong
say?
with you?
Most overrated sidekick?
I'm waiting for you to say it. I'm waiting.
Don't lead on the witness.
I'm waiting.
What other sidekicks do I
Don't
have?
lead on the
You
witness.
got Shaq Kobe, you got Wade,
Oh, well,
you got
of course,
Wade,
less than them.
you got Magic, Kareem,
Next.
you got
Ray,
What other
stop,
great one you
stop, because I don't even want to hear this. Close it out.
What other great one you got?
Ray.
No, what other great one
No,
you got?
Bird, McHale.
No.
That might be close.
No.
I probably
We
would
not
take
finna do this. We not
Scotty
finna
and
do this.
KD, Steph.
What the fuck is wrong
Nope.
with you?
You wouldn't take KD over Scottie Pippen?
How the fuck y'all take care of your Scotty?
We talking about Duke, man. Listen.
That's not the point.
KD and Steph will probably both be top 20, top 25 players when it's all said and done.
I'll take Klay Thompson over Scottie Pippen.
Oh, nah.
See,
Follow us.
Nah.
Follow us on Twitter.
No, name me some
I'll
more.
take Klay Thompson.
Name me some more.
Shit. I mean, would you want to go Duncan Parker? Because it was like more like.
Yeah, I'd take Scotty over Tony Parker. I think Tony Parker is actually overrated too.
Okay.
hey, come on. Here's the thing. Thank you for following us. What you say?
Penny and Shaq.
No, come on. You still
Yeah,
going?
Isaiah and Joe Dumars.
He was better than Joe.
What the? Can you come on?
Thank you. I mean,
Thank you.
so wait, Scotty's
So
overrated?
that puts him like what, like fourth or fifth all time
On
in like
duo
duos
list?
on duo list.
That's what we finna do.
Go
That's
ahead.
what we finna do.
Go ahead.
That's what we're finna
Go
do.
ahead. Go ahead.
Y'all are disrespectful.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yes,
so
you did, 'cause you
disrespectful,
kept
man.
going. You brought it to it, and you kept going. You're disrespectful.
I mean, Mike and Scotty never lost in the finals. So, I mean, that
Never played any of those duos that I told you about.
which ones?
And they lost to Bird and Mikhail.
Who?
They
lost
they
to
did.
Mikhail.
They did lose to Joe and Isaiah.
Scotty
But
wasn't in the league.
I thought they were bad.
Scotty wasn't in the league
I
when they
said that
lost.
Scotty and Mike were better than those two.
Well, they lost to Joe, and they didn't lose to Bird and McHale though. Scotty
They
wasn't in the
lost
league
to
yet.
Joe and Isaiah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now that moves them down to 6.
No, I still think they were better than Isaiah. And Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars was really good, but he was not as good as Scotty was.
But my main point was LeBron just played with so much more talent.
Okay, see, we done. Subscribe, rate, review,
All
follow
right,
us
go
on
ahead.
the game.
Go ahead.
Follow us
We're
on
on
Twitter.
2 hours.
Good God, dog. This is gonna be a good episode. Goodfellas 87, spelled with a 3 instead of an E. Follow us on Instagram, Goodfellas Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Like us on Facebook, and we are on Apple Podcasts where they can A Will.
Subscribe, rate, and review.
Oh man, any shout outs?
It don't even matter.
Nope.
It don't. We don't have to shout nobody out.
Shout out Eddie O. Dunn.
Ugh.
Shout out to my cousin football team. They won again.
Stay in the playoffs, right?
Yep. They won their second round
Still
matchup.
playing.
Yep. Going on to the third round.
So who they play next?
Ooh, I actually have to see.
Who they play?
They beat up on Nico Valley last week, like
Ooh,
35-7. 2-9-1 schools.
Okay.
I remember that song.
Did the Clippers lose tonight?
We talk about that offline.
Go ahead.
Anybody else shout outs? Hey Will.
What's today? 11 days away, man. 11 days away.
Oh, season.
Season starting 11 days.
Pelicans won. Clippers 7-5.
11 days.
11 days. You gonna suit up?
No.
Write your name. Put you to senior.
No.
Transfer to
Definitely
Rich
not.
Central.
Definitely not suiting up. No, I'm gonna leave that to them young guys. I got about a good 5 minutes in.
I'm shouting out any and everybody who watches this episode for all 2 hours. You are the real MVP. And that's the only shout out I got. And shout out to OJ's Twitter account. I'm just saying. And if you don't remember anything else from this episode, if you lose,
You lose.
motherfucker, you lose. Until next week, love, live life, and don't lose. Nigga.